I know it's a funny picture, but that's why I have it there. Somebody posted it the other day and it was so funny. Okay. I've had a rough day. Hey, I'm waiting for Maura to get here. We briefly touched base and I did no advertisement. And I had a really intense day today on every level. She's an awesome, awesome, awesome woman who has so much information that we've talked several times, but every time I talk to her, it's great. It's just been a day for me. Like I literally did not get off the couch until like 6:30. I worked a double yesterday, and then I got off the couch because I needed milk, and I took the dog to the river and let her run and stopped to get milk and ended up getting a box of donuts with peanuts on the top. And I ate a donut and a half just a minute ago. So it's been an intense day. I have my little enjoy the journey cup with my milk because I wanted to drink today. Actually, I thought about a lot today, but I would have had wine for sure, and it would have just led to something else and whatever. So I will be sober. Hey, Kimberly. I'm waiting for Mara. There she is. Hey, look at that picture. How funny it is. Bean girls. That hysterical. My daughter posted it the other day and I couldn't help it. I was looking for a picture and it said keep selection or do it. I was like, no, I'm doing this one just for funny. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I've had a hell of a day.
How
It
so?
was it was a pivot. I've been pivoting today big time in the spirit world and bringing it into my physical. And I got a box of donuts a while ago and I ate a donut and a half.
Oh my
I,
gosh.
yeah. November 1st, I'll be sober a year. And I thought about today. I was like, I could go get some wine. I could do like, but I'm like, nope, you sit your ass down. So yeah, it's been a couple of things have triggered a few things this last week, and I really didn't. I realized I didn't know how to handle conflict in like professional, but then I realized conflict shouldn't be in professional. So then I put the check mark next to I'm doing good. Like I'm still, that shouldn't be. I shouldn't have to go to work and deal with shit like that. So I'm dealing with abuse at my work to try to work to try to make a great place to be at work and a great, to produce at work. And so I'm instead of coming home and relaxing, I'm coming home with, yeah. And so I worked a double yesterday, and overall it was a good day, but there was like three major incidents that just, and I was like, no, I'm gonna stay focused here. I'm gonna just sleep all day, which I did. Cried, listened to Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Venus. I landed on Venus a while ago. So then I went to the river with the dog, which always helps me. I was just staring at the stars and, putting my palms and my feet on the ground. And here I am after a donut and a half talking to you.
Well, that's awesome.
How about you?
I I stayed up till like 3 a.m. last night, just working on a dissertation, um, so that I could put together a proposal. But they wanted like a lot of it's a meta-analysis, so they wanted hard numbers and hard facts and things that people have done and things. So this is all in the technology space. So I was just literally wasted.
Yeah.
Um,
So you feeling like me today then?
yeah, so I like open up my eyes and it was like 5 a.m. and I'm like, okay, all right, 1 more minute. Open up my eyes and it's like 10 a.m. And that's when we're in that live with
Oh
Astro.
yeah.
And then I close my eyes, I open them up again, and it's like 2 p.m. or so, whatever, or 1:30, and then there's this whole debate about I know more than you know, so I am right and you're wrong, and that really took me off. And then I watched a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Which one?
It's a new movie. It's kind of like goofy. It's just fun, typical Mark Wahlberg
I
film
like
about
that
blowing up
though.
things. It's on Prime. I think it's first time. He's some sort of psychopath. Whatever. It's funny. It's a funny movie.
Did you ever see that movie with him where he was playing like this workout guy and he convinced his friends to kidnap this rich man so they could take his money, and then it was like one stupid thing after the next that happened, but they made it funny, but it was a real story.
Yeah, it's some sort of heist. But it's not the
Yeah.
heist. It's that's been Ben Stiller, right?
No.
No,
No, it's not it's not supposed to be funny. It's like it is funny because it's so stupid, but it was they really did this, tried to kill this guy, and they really killed another guy, and they ended up in prison. And oh yeah, it was intense. And
I'm
that
gonna check
was,
that out.
yeah, I will look it up and I'll inbox you what it is, because they when I watched it, it reminded me so much of my life.
So,
How
but is it
stupid it
so I end up in jail? So is it like The Departed?
they
Was it with like Leonardo DiCaprio and those guys? And
No, it's just Mark Wahlberg. The Rock plays one of the workout guys. They worked at this place. He was like a personal trainer.
oh no, I haven't seen it.
It is so wild, and they ended up doing. They kidnapped this. He convinces these two guys to help him kidnap this dude that has a lot of money, and they was going to just take his money, but the dude like fought him back, and one of the guys started liking the guy, and they ended up running him over, and he gets in the hospital, and they wouldn't believe the victim. The victim's in the hospital, ran over with a car, and he's still having to convince them that these guys really did that to him. And it's a true story, based on a true story. And so they get that done and they get free. And then it turns out they go out and he accidentally drops a set of weights on this dude. And he's kills him. But it was an accident. And he ended up in prison. And they ended up in prison. And it's
Oh
set like
wow.
It's serious, but it was funny. I mean, they made it funny. Like it's so stupid that it's funny. But yeah, that was. He's got some good movies.
I can barely hear you.
I didn't know what that
Yeah.
we were going to talk about. We always end up talking about good stuff, but I was in such a space that I wasn't didn't know how I was going to come out of it today. I'm
It's
really
fine. I mean,
that. I just like hearing you talk. You always have the most. I like your intellect, but you're exhausted too. So me and you were both like, "What the hell are we doing?"
yeah. I mean, I don't mean to sound like judgy or anything like that or whatever, but I mean, that conversation earlier on today, it depleted me. I was like, oh my God, just take me, Lord, take me.
I
Just,
was saying the same thing. I was like, I would literally go off my balcony today. I was, oh, it was bad.
unsufferable. Oh my dear Lord. I mean, like I love everyone. Everyone is like super nice and they're super intelligent and all that stuff. But it's like it gets to a point where
Over. Too
so
much.
do you know it's like the
Can't
gotcha.
we just be?
It's crazy. I don't know.
I agree. You know, I sat there, I said God is love so many times. Every single breath, the whole entire time we were on there, I was saying God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love. I was just practicing, sharpening my skills. Like I can't even open my brain. I'm taking in the information so I can glean stuff that I could possibly like take into the future with me. But when it's just so much, it pushes me into my heart space. And then my heart space is like filtering out what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's like this ain't right, and then I get drained.
Well, but I heard you. You're like, well, but it makes it all heart centric. You're gonna tell them. I mean, come on. Then it's men, I guess. You know,
Yep.
guys are like so
Point.
oblivious to the obvious.
They get them little gleans eventually when their ass gets got. That's how you know.
You know what I mean? I don't know. For a second, I had the urge to like digitize my hand in one of my stilettos and then just go through the wire thingy, whatever, show up on the other end and just start banging these people in the head with my stiletto. And it was like, shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, I have I had a dream about a stiletto that maybe I should tell you offline. Speaking of which, I'm gonna send you my number again. I want to be able to text you if that's okay. Like I'm not a freak about it, but
You
like
got my number.
tonight I would have said, hey, are you still up for tonight? Because and see what you thought. But I was
Yeah,
like, damn, she never did text me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm
I'll
sure.
send it to you back in the inbox.
I'm sure.
Okay, how's your morning?
Next one. See, I'm gonna make the most refined coffee you will ever try.
Okay. He's just hey, I got some from the Dollar Tree my daughter gave me. It'll do in a pinch, but Taster's Choice is good coffee.
Yeah, but I mean, who has like $15? Actually, it was like last time I checked, it was like just regular ground coffee, whatever. It was like $15 for a
Yeah,
pound. I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
It's like, no.
Taster's Choice has a decaf, don't they? Yeah, coffee. Oh, look at you. Yes, indeed. For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm into decaf. Once I got off of caffeinated coffee, that's another thing that's been a weight on me is I've been out of decaffeinated coffee and I've been drinking. Oh man, I have been feeling it. So I'm gonna make that pivot. I said I'm driving home. This is the kind of shit I was telling myself. I'm driving home going, you got your milk. Thank you, Father. You got your milk. But then you get a whole pack of donuts when all you really need to do is add $5 more and go get you some decaffeinated coffee.
There you go.
So I was telling myself. I was like, yeah, well, guess what? When I get home, I'm going to sit down and eat 2 donuts. And if I want to eat the whole box, I'm going to eat the whole box. That's what I'm telling myself. I got here, I was like, Tina, you better just eat like one. and maybe a half.
Well, you know what? My cellulite and adipose and myself, we've come to an agreement, right? The arrangement is we don't talk about each other over the weekend. It's like, there's just no conversation. We just, we lie.
Yeah, you're right. I reminded myself, you got to be kind to yourself. This is about self compassion. I'm like, okay, fine, a donut and a half. That's good. I ended up with a donut and a quarter, I think, but whatever.
I
I
love
was
donuts. Oh my God.
you love donuts? I'm not a big donut person, but they had the ones with peanuts on the top,
Oh my God, I
and
love
that was
those.
really
The
good.
like the Boston cream pie with the
But
peanuts.
it did have no cream in it. Because
Oh,
that was the other thing I said. I said, yeah, just bet. Oh, just bet. It ain't gonna have no cream because you want the cream. But if it has the cream, then you're gonna be beating yourself up because it has the cream.
right. No, no,
I mean, really? I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
those are so good. Those are so good. Yes.
Good. How's your mama?
Oh, we just had this most amazing pizza. It's Saturday, so we do pizza like Wednesdays and Saturdays. And we make like a DiGiorno, frozen pizza, doesn't matter. But we just get creative and put like different toppings and we make things so that they don't taste like frozen pizza, but they are. I mean, it's like frozen.
Yeah, I did the same exact thing.
Yeah, so tonight she wanted bacon, like a tomato bacon, and I didn't have tomatoes, so I took like some yellow peppers, bell peppers, and I just sautéed them. I put like a little bit of like oregano, whatever, and they were so good. Oh my God! So she's like, "Can you add some chorizo? Because we have like from I don't know from whatever." So I just missed it, put it. It was so good. Oh my God, it's so good. But we can only have that's our deal. We only have like two slices. Because then we have the other half of the pizza on Wednesday.
Okay, that works out great.
So it's
That's what
nice.
I do too. I know. I like. I think that's how to live. Like I go to my refrigerator and there's too much stuff in it. It goes bad. I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean it's like going out for pizza. If we go out for something more. I don't know, more interesting than pizza. She wanted to. We went to this place where they made like they're like gourmet burgers, but they're made out of lamb. So
Ooh.
it's like the patty's made of lamb, and they put it was like so good, but it was so rich. Oh my God! So I was like, I couldn't drive, and she was like, I want to drive, and I'm like, no, ma'am, you're not driving. We're not going to heaven this quickly. So I was like,
Vicariously.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's doing well.
Good. I love that for y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Judgmental giraffe. Say hello.
Well, there's a story.
There is.
So I had a dream when I was a little girl about these giraffes. So my uncle lived. Is it me? Do I have an echo?
No?
Okay. My uncle that was mean to me. Well, he wasn't really mean to me. Okay, his daughter was an only child, and she was pretty spoiled. But she was mean to me, and she did all kind of other stuff too. But I had a dream when I was about 7 years old, I guess, which would have happened before some of the stuff, or either during the time. But anyway, they had a row of trees in between. My grandpa had a very small dairy farm, and he would feed the animals at the barn that was near the road, and then the house was probably 100 yards away. So it was kind of a yard in the middle where we just hung out. And so we would go to the barn, we'd be on that side, and then the house on that side. Well, past the barn, there was this big row of trees, probably an acre away, where my uncle lived. And these giraffes in my dreams started coming through those trees like a lineup, just taking down the trees, just coming straight out. Yeah. And they got to my papa, and he was leaned down at the feeding trough, like fixing a water pipe or something. And I came up, and I didn't go back to the house. Evidently, in my dream, he was telling me to go to the house, to go home. and the giraffes came up and reached right here, and he had very bald head, just a little bit of silver hair, and pulled his brain out, and you can see a little bit of hair on his. I'm like 7 or 8 when I'm having this dream. And I woke up, like, I used to have night terrors. My life was horrendous. You hear me? Horrendous. It's a miracle that I'm here. I survived it. It's a miracle today. I survived today. And so years, I always remembered that vivid dream. Okay. I remembered everything on it. Okay. So my baby daughter, after the 8 years of our separation, like when we first talked again after the first maybe 4 to 5 years, because he wouldn't let me see her for like 5 years. Just ridiculous. I would make a trip down there every year. I could have seen her every year, and he wouldn't let me. So when I first talked to her, when we kind of like realized, oh, wait, I have a daughter. Oh, wait, I have a mom, because we were both traumatized to hell. Okay. To hell from that. She said, yeah, I picture you like a giraffe. Like she couldn't even remember me. And we went to the zoo, and there was this giraffe that leaned its head over. It had a new baby, and before we got separated, she was probably like 6. I used to take him to the zoo regular. I had a pass in New Orleans, that zoo. Yeah, nice zoo. And the giraffe put its head down by us, and me and her had this like bonding moment. She giggled, and I was like, oh, and she asked me about the baby. So that was like a really true mom and bonding with these giraffes and this new baby. She couldn't remember me. And so that dream came back to forward. And this is how things, like, I wonder when I ask questions like, how about the past and timelines and all of that? Because when I left her that night at that babysitter, that was the message: just go home. But he was telling me what he was going to do. And I'm like, no, I'm going somewhere. I never left my kids on a school night like that. If I went anywhere, it wasn't like that. But this night I left her with the babysitter that they agreed to keep her. She wanted to keep her. I could have left her with my older children, would have been just fine. But oh no, she convinced her to go with her. This is how I know they planned it in hindsight, to kidnap my baby, and the system let it. But that's another story. And so I was already like, so I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm done. I try to chase you down to see her. You don't want to see her. All of this whole thing. And then I'm the one chasing you, but then you get a new woman, and y'all calling me, the police on me every 5 minutes, the way I take care of my daughter. And we was peas and carrots, and we had a good life. You hear me? That was the issue. So that giraffe dream was go home. And that was from that night. So I toiled with that in the healing process of remembering that vividness of that dream and that message to go home. And when subconsciously I was getting that message that night, I didn't listen to that intuition or whatever, that message or whatever. And I had an epic fail, it costed a lot. So I've been really having a rough day today. Today's been a really rough day. But it's being in an environment and I can't get out. That's what dude said. I don't know if you heard that guy say today about that initiation that they put them on. They slit the Native Americans slit the skin and pin them. They hang them for their initiation, like 4 days, no water, no food. I know it on a different level because I have my legs broken and all that. I know that not being able to move and being in so much pain and not having the good vibes from parents where I'm solid, and then this happens, but like a lifetime of torment, So it was intense today. And that conversation kind of brought me on both of those levels that I had to like go on that spiritual side that one was talking about all the way into the dark in the areas that I was like, where am I? Where's my baby? Where's that? And then all the way to the physical side that I can sit here all I want and there's nothing I can do about it in my now moment. Nothing. So I just be like, on my best day, I'm a child of God. I just keep trying to sing and just do the things that I know. Like I told myself when I go to the river tonight that I know that this is going to be what I need to do and it's going to help me. And I know that sitting down with you is what I need to do and it's going to help me because I wanted to just stay under the covers, you know. I had to take the dog out, which is another blessing that I didn't want to do. I wasn't going to say this, but I am now. I had an encounter with dog shit. And you know that makes you really feel like I can't stand dog shit. But you have an encounter with dog shit, and the one I had was rough. And I was like, yeah, because that part of me that wants to say, that's what you get. That's what you deserve. Just dog shit, you know? And so, oh, it has been a day. It has been a day. So, yeah, I know that this is a pivot in the spirit world because the way that the planets are twisting right now. And we're about to go into 3 water planets all lining up. And so I'm ready. I think today was definitely the pivot for me to just coast and ride this wave over the next till December. Because you know they're supposed to come up here. My baby, my son and my baby is supposed to come up here. And we'll see. Because if I try to get excited about something, which was the other thing that came up for healing today, is trying to get excited about something and then one thing got to go. Just one thing got to precede it that makes it an experience that it can't just be like, yay, it's all good all the way to the point, and then that just one thing. So that I say, what do I have in me that I got to uncover and heal to allow that flow not to attract that one little thing that's gonna put a stick in my spoke. So yeah.
Yeah, it's well, the first thing is, we talk about strength, and we have this notion of, stoic, stoic ancestry and all these, supercharged dudes. All, it's like, yeah, let's go get the bad guys. Well, it turns out to be that the supercharged dudes that are the bad guys, right? But these distortions about what it means to be strong versus what it actually means to be strong are things that not many people have the opportunity to see, and I find that allowing yourself to be vulnerable is the biggest show of strength, because otherwise you end up masking things just so that you can pretend, not to other people but to yourself, that you're fine, right, that everything's, we're good, and this year has been, for me personally, in all aspects, financially, emotionally, oh my god, professionally, effectively, it's been a shit show. Um, it's been so wonderful. Also, it's been a transformative year. I mean, I, I am no longer expecting or waiting for the other shoe to drop. So it's not this hesitation that, why, but rather, maybe it was time for me to check things and make sure that to make sure that I'm seeing that I'm plotting a path forward that is meaningful. So what I mean is, I don't want to cure cancer because that's not that's not in me. I'm not gonna cure cancer, but maybe I can help people that will cure cancer.
There you go.
Maybe I can make someone's morning better so that when they go into the whatever work they do, they can make somebody else's life better, and then that person can't cure cancer. I don't know, but I've I don't know how to explain this. This is just
I
surreal.
feel what you're saying for sure.
It
I
is
feel it.
surreal. It is surreal. It is completely surreal. Um, I want to say that I've reconnected to God in my own terms without changing a belief system, without converting or transforming or doing, stuff. It's just me, and it makes sense, and it brings me, it warms my heart. So, so I was telling my mom, right? It's a shame, but had happened. But it's a shame that it is not until now that I can say I like my family.
Hmm.
And, immediately, because it's my mom, so you didn't like the family before? What do you mean? And I'm like, oh, mom, no, I love my family. No, I'm like, bro, I was like, dude, you were like doing your thing because you had to do your thing because if you didn't do your thing, we would not be here. We would have been, I don't know where, we'd be homeless and gotten taken to, I don't know, may have been sold in the black market, whatever. I don't know. I have no clue. 'Cause my dad was not the best person, you know. Um, he made people think that he was a good man, but he was not a good man.
What do you mean?
It was just very self-centered, very narcissistic. It was always, our fault. He would not. So it's like he had a double life, like a second family for the longest time, and no one knew about it.
Wait, he really did?
They really didn't.
Well, no wonder. Oh my gosh, Maura.
Yeah, and my mom said, you know what? I'd rather taking the high road. My mom said, you know what? You do your thing. Just he said, well, I am going to divorce you because I just, I have been dating someone for the last 14 years. And my mom is, or seeing someone for the last 14 years. And it's like, you and I have been married for 14 years, right? Your daughter is 12. So you've been seeing other people, another woman, another family for 15 years. What is wrong with you? Yeah, and we lost our family. Like half of the family just they did not want to engage with us anymore because he just lied and lied and lied and kept on lying.
Ah.
Um, but it was very isolating, like your own experience. It was extremely isolating.
Yeah.
But now I got my kids on a Saturday at 4 p.m. that they call me, hey mom, what? You know what? I did my calico hair with my friends. They're like, it looks awesome. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. And I didn't have to ask for that. And that is a blessing.
Yeah.
It's like my kids used to see me as a burden, but I don't, not anymore. I'm more like, what do I do? What should I do? What would you do? I don't know how to explain it, but it's been, the year has been so weird, like so extremely weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Bittersweet, for sure.
yeah, letting go of old things. Yes, letting go. A lot of things for let go. A lot emotionally. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm an empty nester. I cannot keep clinging on to my kids. I was told that last November, a year ago, November 4th, someone said to me, you have to let go. And I didn't want to. Why am I going to let go of my kids? Why? No.
Yeah.
And you just, like whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna be pestering you and bothering you and bugging you and asking you to call me and checking on you every 15
I
minutes.
send my kids messages all day long. All day long. When I think of them, like if it's their birthday on the time clock, I'll send them that. And I totally got to where and this is so in alignment right now. Because today, it's just 20, 30, an hour ago, well, now it's been 2 hours. I was saying, how do I let my 16-year-old baby go? Because I'm still in the 8-year-old baby phase. And I was just trying to get back to my baby. 8 years later, I'm still not back to my baby. And now she's like, I have to comprehend somehow in my whole being that she made it. She did good. She has a life. And we have to figure out how to come back together at some point somehow, but it's not going to be the way it would have been. And the grief in between there, yeah, I mean, because then I really went to hell with myself about how, what am I expecting her to? I'm glad I'm taking the pain from it, and what was I expecting her to just keep on living in the pain and think, what? And then I go into what she must have really gone through, and I had, you know, Oriental rugs and alcohol and stuff like that. What does she have? The Creator. So then I go, oh well, what's so bad about her depending on God? Well, I really set the example, didn't I? As a mother, what I did, left her, because no matter what happens, I left her. No matter what, on a front side or the other side, I left her. And he is the type that, he's a snake, but I was worn down to the point where I flipped in that moment. And now she is got her own way of, like, I want her to move in with me right now. I want to finish out her school. But now she's like gone into another avenue of sorts that she's depending on something to keep from being, because she's so hurt by me. Like, how can you come back to that? Like, the people that know what I mean, like grief in that way. Like, you can't just, it's undone. No matter how much we loved each other, that pain just, so.
They call it shadow work for a reason, right?
Well, I have to let it go. I have to let the thought of her that I'm still working to get to her go, because the buildup is coming, that if she doesn't come up here in November, then I'm looking forward to that, and then I'll let myself down again.
I know it's rough. It's rough. So listen, I have been for the last 5 years. So I got divorced in 2020, right? Or separated, whatever. I have not spent a single Christmas in the last 5 years or 4 years with my kids. No one.
Because they live far away, or just what?
Situations.
Okay.
I have not spent but one Thanksgiving with my kids. The reality is there are 363 other days in the year. There are not December 25th and January 1st or whatever that I can spend with my kids. I suffered for the longest times. I mean, in the beginning of this year, I was destroyed because I had prepared all of this shit here in San Francisco. All of it. And they canceled last minute.
Oh,
because my ex asked them to spend time with
him instead.
In Florida.
Wow.
And it's like, it's your, that was like the piece that I learned. Okay, this is what I need to let go. And I said, it's fine. It's your decision. I will hold no grudges. All of my 5 kids, only one made it. And we had a good time. We had the best time. It was amazing. There was like the little bittersweet aspect of it, but we just plowed through it. My mom was elated. My brother visited. So it was good. It was not, don't get me wrong. But this thing that I had, this idea that I had in my head of like, oh my God, a happy family, and we're on the West Coast, and it's just bullshit. I am I was hanging on to an idea that is just not feasible because my son lives in Nolans. My other kid lives out in freaking Orlando. I have one child all the way out in Seattle, another one in Portland. My little one is in Tampa. So it's like they're all over the place. And I can see them on FaceTime and I can go to where they are. I'm blessed that way. But yeah, the buildup was I can 100% appreciate and empathize with what you're feeling because it
I'm
sucks.
just making myself not look at it that way. I'm just staying in my now moment. I'm like, that's it. I'm here now. This is what I'm doing. And this dog really has helped me. It really, and I can't even explain it. And I thank the dog. And I used to have resentment a little bit against the dog because it's a dog and not my baby. But I'm so grateful for this dog now. And it's kind of helped me to have something to love besides my plants and take care of and, be able to mother.
These are my
Look at that
babies.
baby. Look how
These
pretty.
are my
Oh, there's
babies.
more than, yeah. The three of them, huh? Aw. They're so sweet.
Yes, they are. I mean, it's like, but it's just good vibe. That to your point. Yes. I mean, and I cannot have a relationship with how do I say this? This is gonna sound super weird. I am sorry. I don't mean that I'm not like crazy or anything like that, but but I cannot have that type of relationship with my mom.
When you say that type of relationship, what do you mean?
Right, that type of relationship. Because with my mom, I am always going to be the child.
Uh huh.
No matter what, I will always have. There will always be that power dynamic. But with you know my kids or the plants, or it's more me being me, just giving love
Yeah.
because I can control the way I spew love. It, not I don't control the way my mom spews her love. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but I guess what I'm saying is being able to take care of my mother has been wonderful. But it's different. It's not. I'm gonna say that it's different. It's just it's okay. So in my mind, that's the very least thing I can do for for that amazing woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it like that because that's how I'm thinking about it. That's the least I can do to take care of her, to focus on her, to listen to her, to talk to her, to get her enrolled in classes that she finds boring or super, interesting. This human being is a walking brain, and but it transcends the mushy wushy. I just cannot hug my mom and then just cuddle with her. I can't. She's like, Maura, you're so weird. I'm like, no, I'm not weird, mom. But I can't cuddle, even if it's, mentally my plants, my babies, my kids. I don't have pets, but I used to. But I guess what I'm saying is, I don't mean to ramble, but your dog gives you that ability to connect to someone that 100% depends on you, but it's actually what gives you the strength to get out of bed. It's what is that individual that gives you the strength to take the next step, to keep walking. I don't know, maybe I'm missing the mark in your case, but in my case, it's like my plants help me with it. So if I
Yeah.
don't let them die, if I don't, I, my
I,
neighbors, my neighbors call me crazy because I actually walk my plants.
oh, I totally love you for that. I totally love you for that. I did not even think about that, but I do have a plant that I bring inside in the winter, which I thought about it was a girl because it always like had babies, but then it's like the big daddy plant. Like it's big, so it's like the guy, like the big brother or something to all the rest of them. So, but I get my neighbor to help me bring him in, and it's about time for him to come in. And he was trying to get to the sunlight, and that was the only living thing I had here. Like 5 years ago, somebody got me that little little. It was not a. It's a. One day I'll show you what it is, but it grew from about 3 feet to like 8 feet now. Yeah. And that it was trying to get to the sunlight, so it kept growing straight. And I thought it was a freak plant. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to cut it. And so it bends when it comes in the house now. But once I started taking it outside for the summer, it stopped growing tall. It just stays at the height it is now. So yeah, but that was the only living thing I had, and I was broken. And this, I met this random dude, and he's like, I said that to him. I said, I don't have anything. I don't have my children. I have nothing to love. And next thing I know, this random dude's like, I got you this plant. Somebody, I was like, wow, thank you. And I raised it, and yeah.
So you'll see something interesting about that. My grandmother used to her she didn't grow plants, she raised plants.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. That's how I feel like with these too.
So she was a very lonely person. She was, well, anyway, long story short, after, she turned 75, she decided to isolate herself. She was like a hippie. She was into parapsychology. She was a psychologist. She used to teach at, college, Western University down there, and well, whatever, it doesn't matter. She was also a hippie, and her friends were like into like,
Uh-huh.
right? There's a crazy crowd. I mean, these people were like out and about in the late 50s and 60s. I mean, this woman is like a feminist, like diehard, but she never lost touch with herself, right? It's not like, yeah, I want to be a dude. No, no, it's like choose real. And she said, you know what? I'm tired of all these people because all of you people are just so fake. And so, I'm just sick and tired of you all. So I am going to dedicate whatever's left of my life to my plants. And her apartment was closer to well, when she moved first into, because she first started in assisted living, her little unit became like a, yeah, it's like a botanic garden. She had like mint and oh my god, spearmint and strawberries and all these weird things that no one grows. But somehow she would just,
Raising her plants.
and she would walk them. She would put them in on a tray and then walk around, like put them on the sun, wait for them, spray them, talk to them. I mean, it was. It's like, is this woman crazy? No, she was not.
No, she loves them.
She's not. She's just in tune with,
Real love, yeah.
everything correct.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't, you can see it. She used to talk about when the plants don't feel the love, even if you water them, even if you give them all the nutrients, the light, everything, the color of the plant, it will not be as bright and green and shiny. It becomes dull, and it's like the plant is just getting by.
That's true. Mine are like that right now because
You're sad.
when I left to go, well, when I left to go to Louisiana, my daughter moved her gaming in there. And she was, Mother, I never heard some shit come out of a girl's mouth like that. She's a gamer. And I got back and my plants were all like, help me. I said, what did you do to my plants? I mean, one of them was completely gone. And I was like, wow, does it really make a difference, huh? Oh my gosh.
It does.
Every day I'll be like, good morning, good morning. Give them a little touch, Yeah.
And it's just funny because I had a little bit of reflectiveness, right? Of being in tune with them. It's like the, I don't want to use the term algorithm, but what I want to say is that love, that energy, that thing that's everywhere around us, if you're able to master it in a way that it's always positive or flowing positive. Plants are like these little gadgets that tell you if the energy is good or it's bad, or it's like, so I had in my before moving here back in Boca, I had the apartment had like tall ceilings, right? It was like 13-foot ceilings. So it was like this giant. It was an old building, right? But it was like these giant glass, walls and, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. A lot of light would come in, right? So it was ideal for plants, and plants would grow. But I was just so sad, and I had this plant, and that plant did not grow. And I gave the plant just about anything and everything you can imagine, and that thing did not want to grow. So my mom says, you know what, Maura, maybe if you change your attitude and you demonstrate a better attitude to your plants, just try it. Because, my grandmother used to say that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try that. So I started doing it. Like, instead of leaving it there hanging where it was and then just putting water, I would take it down. I would talk to it. I would be as gentle as I could to put her under the sink. I would just water her very gently with nice cool water. It was not too cold. It was not lukewarm. It was filtered natural. I mean, blah, blah, da, da, da. And my relationship with that plant became, this plant is the, like, the gauge that says how centered I am,
Yeah, you
how
were
positive.
was receiving and you were
Yeah,
receiving.
exactly.
Yes.
All I needed to do was just to give. I'm not expecting anything back from her. All I'm doing is giving her just attention and love, and like you're saying, just good morning and just happy thoughts. And when I moved to San Francisco, I could not keep the plant because it was it, it, I had it for I had that apartment for 3 years almost, and the plant had grown maybe 10 feet.
Oh wow. I know how you feel. That one down there, I want to take it to Louisiana and plant it in the ground. Like, what am I
Because it was
doing?
like it was hanging on the ceiling, like it was this thing. So I changed it. I put it on top of a bookshelf with a little like a little ladder that I could go up, and then take it down and talk to it and walk around. And I would sit with, I mean, the craziest thing, right? But it does show you how our attitude towards something, another living organism, can have that impact. It's the same thing with us. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you give yourself that little bit of love, god damn it, it's not difficult.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna start doing that a little more often now that you said that like that for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
I just really started doing that in the last couple of days again. I used to do it for a while, but I caught myself recently stopping by the mirror and going, "Look at your fucking self. Just look at you." And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, look at me." I'm like, "Just think if you wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z, you wouldn't look like this." And I'm like, "Look like what?" I'm like, "Look like what?" And then I'll have the conversation. Look like what? What do you look like? Well, look at this part. Look, and that was a couple weeks ago when I started. And now I'm like, uh, you're here, you're alive, which used to not be valuable. I mean, it was and it wasn't, you know. And your skin will come back. Your whole body took a hit. Everything took a hit. You got wrecked within an inch of your life, and now you're like on the other side of this thing, and you're because you said, if I get wrecked with every inch of my life, I'm still gonna, and I did, and now I'm like, oh hell no, I'm on the other side of this. All of that, you just think you got to go down that. The pendulum's got to swing that way. So now it's coming up. So I started to change the self talk over the last 2 weeks. I started looking at myself in the mirror again with that. But now that you said that like that,
Does
it's
it make sense?
it's frontal lobe. Oh yeah,
I
For
mean, it's
sure.
no more freaking proof.
Yeah.
Jenny, she's in the comments. She published or posted, I'm sorry, posted a poem this morning. Well, I saw it this morning.
I didn't see it yet.
And it says, I live in the now. It's about nowism, which is the present. And what struck me is, like, really slapped me is the present is never perfect, it's never complete, it's never finished because it always waits, has to wait, must wait for the next moment, the next now to be complete. And once that happens, you're in a new, incomplete moment, a moment that only you can complete. And it's just so, well, just like you, I love her. I think the three of us, or maybe there are a lot of people like us that share some of these, experiences. And yes, it's like I am here, I am now, I am alive, I can breathe, I can sip the coffee, even if it's cold, I can have that donut, even if it doesn't have the cream, and even if a little bit of stuff, it's like we're so blessed.
We're blessed. That was another level with my legs. Like, I would rather step in dog shit with my legs and my feet than not have legs to step in dog shit with, you know? I know that's bottom level shit, but whenever I couldn't walk for 3 years, I said, when I get to walking again, I'm going to really appreciate it. And then I went to another level with that injection that I did that then tore my heart up, literally, my veins and stuff. And so then my heart didn't want to get up and walk. But that's at the point where I'm at right now, is getting back to walking, because walking really helps for everything in every way. And my heart was so broken and I was so down from it that I didn't walk. But to appreciate how my heart came back to life just from giving it the time it needed, allowing myself to grieve, trusting in the universe, like totally letting go. And I saw myself come back to health. I'm like, the human body is just amazing. Amazing. And gratitude is the key, for real.
And just so yeah, plants are better thermometers than thermometers, and yeah, you can say hello to tree beings on walks, yes, and to rocks, and to the waves in the ocean, and to yes, 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 yes. It's all reflective. So, one of my kids had, I'm not outing anyone, so yes, but had an ED, an eating disorder that was extreme. And it's a swing of you're eating too much, you're not eating enough, you look too, heavy. You're not heavy enough. I mean, how do you think you're going to win your whatever? My kid used to play tennis. If you're eating like that, well, you don't work out, you don't do any exercise, so you're working too much. Stop. So all these messages that are consistently polluting people's minds, especially when they're growing up, right? You're too pretty, be quiet, or you're not pretty enough, be quiet, or the conflict, right? Why is it that all the other children look at me and hate me because I'm too tall? Or why is it that the other children are looking at me and are hating me because I'm not tall enough? And it's not that, yeah, right, yes. So through her treatment, the therapist helped us recognize that food isn't good or bad, that eating isn't good or bad, that food are just calories, and eating is a necessity so that you can live. The human body exists for the sole purpose of eating. But if you eat more than you should, you get sick and your body shuts down. And if you don't eat enough, your body gets sick and shuts down, defeating the purpose of what it was initially built for, which was for eating, right? Everything about what we do is about eating. And that's the worst relationship we have, our relationship with food.
Why? That's so. I'm gonna really go into this.
What's that?
I want to really dive into this one.
Yes. Um, and to me, it was fascinating to see my kid discover love of self through that process and that relationship. Because then it's not about what people think of me, because it's reflective, it's what I think of me. And what I think of me then is what people perceive about me. So if I'm an introvert and I'm shy, people will say that I'm shy then I'm an introvert. But if I am an introvert and I am shy, yet I put on this mask that I'm super party person, and people will think, "Oh my God, Mara, let's go party!" It's like, and and that was my issue, that I needed to be accepted, and I did some like really stupid things because I did not see myself for myself, but I saw myself through the eyes of other people.
Mm.
Hopefully that makes sense. So I would see myself through the eyes of my parents or my siblings.
Yeah.
It seems to be like I seems to be like the crux in many circumstances, that ED voice, just as Jenny was mentioning, saying you're eating too much or you're not eating enough, or yeah, let's sneak out at night and have that little bit of extra whatever. Um, but it's all about, like you said, get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and then just wink at yourself and say, you know what? God damn, we're here. We made it. We were able to open up our eyes.
I say, how can I have the faith that I could get to this point, but not the faith that I can't get further? That's my energy. I've been having the conversation with
See what
about
I mean?
myself. Like, oh, I've arrived here now. Oh, well, look at me now. Look what I did to myself and brought myself to this point. And I say, but why don't you just put that energy into focusing on what you can become after this point, now that you've healed all that shit? It's like I'm standing here with my healed version going, damn, that wreaked havoc. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm tired now. Now I don't want to, do anything. Well, I will reap when I do not tire out. And so I can either say I just want to curl up and unalive, or I can tap into all of that strength, because you hear people say, like, what doesn't unalive you makes you stronger. Now that's like the cliche thing. I get it right now. It's more to it than that though. Like the little rat that they put in the little thing and did it for 15 minutes and took it out. It treaded water for 15 minutes and they took it out and revived it and got it back, and then they put it back and it lasted like way longer because it had the hope that it was going to get rescued again, like that. So that's my current energies. Like if I had the faith to get myself through all of that shit and got myself to here, this is the least. I mean, basically, I'm healthy, and I really need to focus on the gratitude for that, and come up from there and watch it get better. I got to do a puzzle. It looks like, yep, and watch it get better from there. Okay. Oops, unable to verify. Please try again. Okay. It had a beach scene the first time and I was unable to verify. Then it gave me a couch. So that's my confirmation. I'll be back on this couch tomorrow. That kind of stuff right now.
So I mean, just to like level set. So you see me, right? People say, "Oh my God, you look so nice." Oh, blah, 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 right? Well, I weigh 250 pounds
Now,
right now.
you look great. You must be tall.
Because I finally learned to accept myself. Well, I have freaking heavy bone structure. There's nothing I can do
Right.
about that. And
Not
you
even
know
about
what?
the weight on the scale, but I know what you mean.
I have to exercise. Yes, I have to walk. I walk. I have to like do my abs. I do my. Do I have to eat balanced diet? Yes. Do I eat too many cookies? Yes, I love my cookies. Don't take the cookies away, because then it's gonna be bad mood more. No one likes it. But it's I love myself at 250 pounds. I have finally learned to love myself. It's not like, oh my god, I'm so fat. And I think that I'm, oh my god, and you know, and all this big butt, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So it's like done.
Yeah, I felt
Am I
that.
healthy? Do I have any like heart problems? No. Is my blood pressure in check? Yes. It's like my levels, cholesterol, everything is fine. My body just freaking operates like this.
Yeah. And we really we had to clear out a lot of people's voices. And when we get to who we really are underneath that, we're really good people. So I am really glad that we have found our own voice in this now moment right now, for sure.
Yes. I I don't know, I think these conversations, these forums, these platforms, whatever, they're amazing. But I find more value in connecting with, four women that I appreciate, five women that I appreciate that have a similar experience as mine, but with a different life experience. Because I can make double assure myself that what I'm experiencing, what I'm thinking, is not bogus. It's not an ideation. It's like this happens to a lot of people. So from a certain perspective, surviving is difficult, and we are survivors. We're not victims. We are survivors. So I find that community. I find more community talking with you, and now that Azrael has chipped in or connected with us, I find more community here with like 4 or 5 people that I connect with than being in a forum being heard by 1,000 people. It's like I can connect with Astro in a similar fashion. It's very so. I guess what I'm trying to say is this has helped me the most.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to connect with you and with Jenny, right? I'm being completely transparent. The two of you has helped me personally the most because I I I, I struggle a lot, a lot, a lot of like, yeah, no, I'm not making it. Adios, I'm done,
Yeah.
and I'm here. Shit, 50 years later, I'm still here, or 45 years later. So it's like it's finding people that have that drive to plow through this, to keep on living, to, oh my God, to me, it's priceless.
I agree. I was that I've been in the last couple of weeks. It's all been a lot going on. Saying that side of me, because when they talk about getting the ego where it doesn't feel like it has to survive, that it can just live and thrive. So mine's been coming up with certain little, because like I don't know, like rap style, like talk like the ghetto and like that type. Like I do have that side to me, and when it comes up, instead of thinking I have to get into this little, okay, so now I'm really doing the thing, and I that even though that part was with me throughout the time and survived me, I still got that side. And so I'll be saying to the creator, I'm like, that's what you love about me. What, and then I say, well, because I'm incorporating, I'm using that word, incorporate, integrating the idea that I'll say the love of God from one respect, or that the creator is in me, because it was weird to think that before. But now that learned to allow, I'm learning and I'm learned to allow the energy to flow through me as the energy of love, aka God is love, the creator is love, and we're created in love. When that flows through me, I'm able to just float with it more. And when my little ghetto voice comes up and say, why would I knock you for being ghetto fabulous whenever you helped me to survive what I actually really went through? So then I go into, well, what do I need to get rid of? And then it's usually other people's voices,
Other people's
other people's interactions with me. Yeah. So that's been a big pivot lately, is really tapping into loving all of the parts. And some of that, I call it the ugly duckling syndrome. You know how when a kid goes from like 9, like mine was, I remember that phase, and I just was, there were things that went on, and I knew I loved myself then, but they were just still tormenting me in my outer, my, like, it was horrible. Okay, my whole life. And I remember they took a picture and I was flipping the bird and I was 9. That's so not me, but I was so done with hearing them just peck on me. And I flipped the bird and they took a picture of it. And so that's something that I have in my life that wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for what I was saying off with, you know? How can I say that I hate that part that was just like, I'd rather do that than unalive? You know? I would rather, you know, I like my level of not doing that. And so if we look at it from like a past life standpoint, I came to this idea inside of myself that I have this whole creation of this past life that I lived. It's the only way it made sense to me, that I must have done that in my past life, and that this life, my goal is to not do that. Because it was so bad to do it that I'm like, I didn't do it. I'm great. So yeah, completely on the other side of that. But that's been the current energy. I think. Oh, and the shedding of the skin from the snake, the year of the snake. So I've been feeling that, and I've been kind of almost visualizing that, like shedding off that the way. Yeah. So that's coming to an end too in December.
Yeah, I mean, so from where I see it, you can remove the skin with like these brushes that are made of steel bristles, like very hard and very, or you could just slide out of it, right? So and to me, it's been abrasive.
Yeah.
I've been quite abrasive to myself. Just it's like just get it up, get it done. Let's just do it, and it defeats the purpose of shedding the skin. It's a process. Absolutely, absolutely, 150%. The transformation that we expect is just as what I said previously. It waits for the next moment so that the previous one can be complete, and it's one step, another step, and all of a sudden you've grown out of that skin and into your new self and into your whatever it is that you're now. But yeah, I think it's wonderful to be able to say, you know what, I'd rather see you uncomfortable than not see me ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I,
That was the hard part to say, because whenever I went through the phase of I don't love myself or I hate myself or I don't like myself, because me and Jenny Lane talked about the word hate, and somebody made a comment on the video that I posted about that, and I got to thinking about it after that, and I thought, yeah, because that is how I felt about myself at one point. And I didn't want to feel that way about myself, but when I turned on myself, that's the energy that I had toward my own self. And I had to come out of feeling that way about myself, and that was what I attracted into my life by feeling that way, because I didn't want to hurt anybody, but I was behaving in a way that was against myself, so it attracted people that treated me the same way that I leveled myself with.
we talked about this. I mean, these are things that we learn, that we are taught, right? If you teach a child that abuse is the way of demonstrating love, that child will seek abuse. Simple. So yes, I mean, you get into this position like where you were just saying, right? You start seeking and thriving and recognizing those patterns. There's my therapist. She was a DV survivor, and it was severe, severe that she
What's a
uses
TV?
a cane, right? Domestic violence.
Okay, I got
So
you.
she walks with a cane because
Yeah.
her ex just sent her to the hospital in such bad shape. The guy was just terrible. He was terrible. Terrible. Anyway, right. And it was like Florida in the 1990s. So it was really, yeah, you were just fooling around, that kind of thing. So the guy didn't, nothing happened to him. But the story is that these are things that, um, well, in her words, she married her dad, and she made sure that her son would be like her dad. It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel that, and I've experienced that.
You're
Yeah.
instilled into that space, and it's like to break away. It takes a lot of work, and that's why I said we survive, because survivors are able to like recognize and fix and do the work to get out of those situations, and recognize that that's not love. That's somebody else's madness, not ours.
There have been times that I almost succumbed to really taking myself because um, I couldn't overcome in myself. I'm really overwhelmed right now. In myself, that to find the value or the worth, even though my head knew that I know I'm worthy. I mean, who would say that anybody's not worthy? Like, that's just like, it's kind of taboo. Like, you say, no, I'm not saying that you're not worthy. Why would I say that? Who would ever say that? But my heart, from the brokenness, did
Yeah,
not feel that at all.
those voices. Yeah.
Mhm. And it almost took me out for a long time. It almost took me out. Today, I was really on the teeter totter about it. And I'm like, I have to figure out a way to keep my faith to the to all of the things I've learned to apply in my now moment, like getting out in the earth, listening to the frequencies, drinking the water, talking to you, listening, to continue on for another day. Because I know and experience that a day can be shitty, but the next day will turn out to be something great. It's like a roller coaster. So to give up in one day, but getting through it and knowing that once that pain is healed, it's gone. It's healed. So really just surrendering into the heaviness of the pressure and thinking, I literally said to myself today, I said, if I lay here and feel this pain as hard as this pain comes, and this pain in itself doesn't kill me, I will get up and I will be up and I will stay up. And this will be another level up. And here I am. It didn't get me, but I surrendered as hard as I could into the surrendering of allowing that pain to process its way and feel it out of me today. It
Yes.
was a lot of work.
Yes. It does. It takes a village in some. Yes. It is difficult. I mean, it's not easy, but it can be done.
I'm living proof.
It can be done.
I'm living proof.
I find also that in the same space, there's this thing called imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
where it affects me a lot because I always was asked to outperform. You need to be, the expectation was always like, you have to be the best. But I mean, what? You have to be the best. You're the most intelligent. You have to be the best. You are the fastest one. You have to be the best. You're the tallest one. You have to dunk all the balls. You have to run. You have to, right? All these expectations. Because my sister is the oldest sister, the first grandchild across the entire family. So she had this special place. You know, she's like, oh my gosh, our DNA is actually walking around. So that's what my grandparents would say. I mean, that's how I envision it, right? So they could see their DNA walking around. And then my brother is like this super athletic dude, you know, he's like, oh my God, football star or whatever. And he was just so cool. And it was, you know, and besides, it was like, well, this is the man of the house. And then there's me and
I
three.
was not saying, and there's Maura.
And then there's me and three more. And I'm like,
Felt it. I'm telling you.
so I had to like somehow be special. I need to be special. So it's just absurd. But in the workplace, so you were asking me, so what are you doing? Like, so usually, typically, someone will say, well, you know, you're the expert in X field. We're expecting you to perform such and such task. And you're like, okay, I'll take it. I'll do it. Here you go. All of a sudden, you give the result and they say, we need proof that what you are saying holds water. And I'm like, so how do you want me to, well, how do we know that all this stuff will work? So now I'm in a position where I need to write a dissertation that I have to defend in front of a company that's not going to give me any academic benefit for it. I'm not going to get laureate. I am not going to go into patents. I cannot publish it on my own because it's done under their dime.
That's right.
Just so that they can say, oh, so you were not bullshitting us. But if it's a different person, someone that they quote unquote trust, then the test is different. So, and I'm not claiming sexism. What I'm claiming is I have to go in my brain above and beyond any doubt. And most likely on Monday, what they'll say is, you know what, this is overkill more. You overdid it. I mean, we're not asking you to write a dissertation. You know what I mean? But it is, well, but you're asking me, where's the proof? So it's just that scenario where you're constantly, well, at least in my case, every day I have to prove that I own the place that I have. That means that I'm qualified to perform the job that I have been hired to do, above and beyond the fact that I'm doing the job, right? Other people don't have to go through that, but it is in my brain that says, but if I don't do it, then I'm not going to be trustworthy. They're going to say that I'm just slacking, that I'm stupid, that I'm dumb, that I'm the voice.
Yeah.
Right? And it gets to a point where it can destroy careers, right? It's a blessing that I have AI because I can offload the writing, not the creation side, because I still needed to like go on. That's why I went to bed like at 3 a.m, just making sure that whatever the thing had spewed out was meaningful. But we need to learn to be kind to ourselves in all aspects of our lives, not just love is not just, hey, you look pretty, hey, you're eating healthy, but being worthy affects everything, like work life, like love life, our emotional selves, the way we perceive ourselves, the way we eat, how we drive our car. I don't know, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but
It's the same. I totally know.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not a one dimension issue. It's not a single dimension of self care. It's like this has to be applied to all aspects of our lives, all of them.
I said if I felt worthy enough and trusted enough, I would walk out of a job that already looks at me like I'm this age and I'm working as a hostess and a food runner at a food restaurant. And one of the girls said to me yesterday, if you were hired to be, if you were meant to be the manager, or if they wanted you to act like the manager, they would have hired you as a manager or something like that. And I'm thinking, first of all, I'm like, that's first of all, that's not even true. And secondly, I'm like, I don't want to be a manager. Why is it so difficult that I can't come in and do a brainless, fun job and have a team that works together
Yeah,
and then
it's
go home and do what I do, like this, my other stuff, and work on my healing and transmute positive energy into the planet. So then that becomes a challenge to me. So then I want to dabble in the shit stinks, but it's warm theory instead of getting out of it. If I felt like I had worth, I would just walk out the door and trust that something else would open up. But then I get scared that if it's going to be something that's going to, I start weighing it out. I'm like, oh, that's mature, Tina. You're weighing out. Well, you have the right hours. You have the right this. Yeah, but I still don't make them like, well, you're still getting provided for. Like I'm compromising on all kinds of areas and getting fucking abused at my job.
yes.
I'm getting abused at my job right now. Current energy. That's why I couldn't get up today. And what I'm working on about getting up is to walk out of that fucking job if something doesn't change. But I'm the person that I'm locked in. I'm committed. I'm going for it. There's so many things I do love about it that I want to. But when does it stop? That's why I stayed in domestic violence. Same fucking reasons.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's everything. So I was so it's well for me it's 8. For you should be like 10. I don't know. Do you want to like invite Jenny or Azrael up here if they want to
Yeah, if you want to
participate?
open a panel, I would love to.
Yeah,
It's up to you.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I love you guys. So
All right.
you're
Yeah, I've
amazing.
been overwhelmed. So I'd love to hear y'all and just lap up the love. Israel's probably not looking at his phone right this minute. I sent the invite though.
Yeah, he'll see it. He'll come back.
What's up? How you like that picture,
Yeah.
Bean Girls?
Beam Girls. I was trying to figure out what it was. I was like, why is it? Let me get to a place where my TV isn't playing. I've got Bones going on in the background. Bones is my comfort show. So what's Beam Girls? What's
Like
that?
like Mean Girls, but it's pork and beans instead. My daughter loves pork and beans. That was on one of her posts. And so I'm like, I was dealing with the Bean Girl situation recently. So like,
I wish I loved beans.
I
Just the
love
texture
beans.
of them.
I love
I,
it. Yes. You gotta
I've
cook
just
them.
started. You gotta cook them right.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
cook
don't
them a
know. It's the
long
same
time till
texture
they
as
get
like
soft.
peas.
No,
Ugh,
you gotta
I
cook
don't
them
know.
until they get soft. You can't. You cook. I'll cook you some beans. You'll love
Yeah,
them.
I like them smashed. Okay, great. Like
Yeah,
I
you
like
gotta just cook them a
smashed.
long
It's the
time.
same like as
Not put salt in them
chickpeas.
until they
Yeah,
get
Like
the
if you
cool ones. Yeah.
if you smash all those things like peas or chickpeas or beans, I'll eat them.
Yeah.
But like inside those little like casings, it almost like the texture. I'm very texture focused on food. It like feels like a little eyeball squishing. So like I don't know. I've never eaten a little eyeball, but I would imagine that's what a little eyeball feels like. I don't like it.
I
I'm
have
weird. I know
I,
it.
I have eaten
I've
like
seen
fish
people.
eyeballs. They're like
Yeah,
super tough. It's like
they're hard.
Ugh.
Yeah, they're not soft.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I derailed us with my weird ass. Oh, my weird texture issues. It has been delightful listening to you, ladies. Thank you so much.
I've been
Likewise.
really had a really rough day today. It was rough.
I heard.
Yeah.
You know, you can reach out to me and just
It's just it was
put
one of
it in
those
a
things.
voicemail.
I know. I just needed to I was just why can't I just walk out, you know? And that's something only I can process within myself. And then it was one thing leads to another. And I had to just hash it out today. I know that. And I love you for that.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I'm the
There
type
she
that,
go.
oh no, she's like, oh, Jenny's up. I'm gonna
Oh,
go eat some beans.
yeah.
She's going to go make some beans.
Where's she at?
There she is.
She
There
joined.
she
I don't
is.
even know how to. I'm learning here. Let's see. There she
You
is.
know, but it's
There we
like
go.
when it comes to abusive like situations, it's not as easy whether it's the workplace or at home or a third space, I don't even know. It's not always as like cut and dry as this is happening, I need to leave. You know, it's why people stay for so long because sometimes financially you're not able to. It's just not possible. So you have to find like a way out while still maintaining your sanity, you know.
Yeah, it was not difficult. It was not easy because I learned that conditioning when I was grew up in a household with that, and I couldn't leave. I was a kid. I had to just find a way to live with it in there, and so it became this is shit stinks, but it's warm theory. And so I know that it's paying the majority of my bills. I know that for the most part, I do have a really good time, but but the abuse that happens there is because I'm working in a dynamic when it's looked at me like, why am I a hostess and not a manager or what, in this environment, I'm working with servers who have that mentality and they just, this is what I have to accept for myself. Because if I say, oh, well, I'm going to get raised, go to another environment where I'm gonna go into a level up in mentality or high. I don't think of myself as better or something like that. Maybe I should, but I think of myself as like a leader and I want to have fun with the group and a thing. But their mentality is not like that, and it's taking my pearls, and just not do it. It don't feel good, and I'm enduring it because of the financial part.
Is there an aspect of it that because you're a different age that other people feel like you should be in a different place? Because like
I
I
think
really wanted
I
to be
think
a lifeguard. Like I wanted to be a lifeguard my whole entire life. And when I came back from the Netherlands, I was 38 years old and I went and I worked at the summer camp. But all the rest of the kids, they weren't kids, but all the rest of them were like 20 years old.
yeah,
And they automatically put me into like, why are you doing this? You know, I
yeah.
was teaching during the year and then I was lifeguarding in the summer. I was subbing during the year and then lifeguarding in the summer. And it was like the least amount of responsibility that I've had in the workplace probably my whole entire, I mean, obviously as a lifeguard there's responsibility, but like I'm just done. I'm done being an overachiever. I'm done caring about what how other people see me or where they think I'm supposed to be. I know people who are like CEO levels and have tons of money and they've worked all the way up the corporate ladder and they're miserable.
Mhm.
They're miserable. I don't have to follow what society is telling me that I need to do. I don't even have to, like right now I'm just caretaking for my mom, but I don't have this like outside pressure from other people. Like on paper I probably don't look real great, but in my life this is the most peaceful, the most stable, the most safe I've ever been. And I've been working since I was 13 years old.
Same,
I don't
same.
care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what a 20-year-old thinks of me. I don't care what some 70-year-old who like has some kind of status in society because behind closed doors they're abusing their wives. You know, F off. No, I'm
Really
done.
hard on
I'm
this
done
one.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so done with it too. And I know that the
Who
energy has
cares? It's
shifted.
my life.
I can feel it, and that's a good thing. But what it took out of me to get the energy to shift to this level, and then we had
Yeah.
we had a guest manager last night who was awesome, by the way. And they 3 different times I was attacked last night, and I was trying to help them.
How
And
were you attacked?
how?
Yeah.
Well, I I started to make. I'm hostessing on Friday night, and
Okay.
we had another hostess. Which most of the time I'm by myself. A lot of time, let's just put it this way: I have been by myself. Okay, sometimes they have them, but for the most part in the evening I'm by myself. And we had a little hostess, and she was doing the part and blah blah, and we had the guest manager, so I was running around doing everything else, bussing tables, helping in the back, all that stuff. The kitchen was overwhelmed. We had a lot of rookie cooks back there. Been cooking a long time, but not at our facility. So
Right.
when we get to when I go back there, there's my other job is a food runner during the day, the 2 days a week. And that means I look at the drink screen and I make the drinks and the chips and salsa and I'll bring it out to the table. Well, last night, it was crazy back there. One of the food runners called in. It was everywhere. So I was doing several other things, but I looked at the drink screen and saw that the drinks had been up there for a couple of minutes. And I went over there and started to make the drinks. Well, the server that was supposed to have this drink dynamic was just kind of casually moving around, got him one of his, one drink. And I was like, hey, dude, I got your drinks. I said, I'll make them for you and you can take them and I'll bring your chips and salsa. I'll be right behind you with your chips and salsa. And he goes, with his one drink in his hand, oh, I got to bring this. And if I could bring this out I was like, okay, well, come back and get this then. I'm making it because I had so many other things back there I was doing. I knew he wasn't going to come back just by the way that he could have grabbed his other 2 drinks and brought them while he was going. I'd have been right behind him. So I go out to the front and he's talking to the other bartender. And I just walked over and I sat the stuff down and I'm like, I said, he goes, are you going to take it to him? It's right. I said, I don't even know what table it is. And he goes, oh, you didn't look like it's like I was helping him.
I can feel it. I can feel the energy.
Oh my God.
Like,
And I said, no,
ooh.
I sat it on the bar and I just walked away. Well, then he calls me to the back, that little, like, you're going to have a talk with me. I said, dude, talk to yourself. You're talking to me. I said, I was trying to help you. And that was one. And then another dynamic is same kind of scenario back there, hands in helping. A server had a molten that was getting ready to go out, but it was hung up. Like the lady who was getting the food ready for them to take it was getting the food ready. Well, the ticket was in the thing for the molten. So I saw it and I thought, well, I'll just go start the molten. It takes 45 seconds anyway. That'll give them time. Well, the server that came in that the molten belonged to, I said, I got your molten in the microwave. She goes, what? She screamed at me. What? But I told you I would. And I mean, I said, are you really fucking talking to me like shit right now? Like that. I said that like that. I said, I was
Good.
lit up. You hear me? I told the other one, I turned around. She went to the drink thing. I said, I don't know what's going on. I said, but you talking to me like that. She said, I told her. I said, well, I didn't get that memo. I was helping you get the issue. Well, I'm not ready for it. That's the thing around here, communication, but that's bullshit because I'm always the one communicating. I'm always the one saying, so such and such at this table, such and such this time, which is the other problem they got with me. Okay. So that's bullshit. So that went into that. So then we're going to have a birthday at this table. So we go out to the table. She finally gets her molten, which wasn't too long later, and did not pre-bust the table. So here's rib bones and real shit. Real shit. And the thing they get mad at me the most is I'm on them about pre-bussing because who wants to sit down at a table and have their dessert, So I was like, okay, that's 2. So later, the third one is another server who is one of them. She did not pre-bus her table, but they'll wait around and leave it all for the little busser to do instead of pre-bussing their table. So their customer has a shitty experience, and then the busser has it all to do. And then I'm helping the busser because I don't want the busser to have it all to do. So I call over the machine to let her know that her table left, but I saw that it wasn't even pre-bus. So I said that. Well, I go to the back because she didn't answer me. And she's sitting at the back at the counter actually doing work, which was amazing to see, and not just on her phone. So I was really fucking glad about that. But she didn't have her headset in. So I was like, hey, oh, I see you don't have your headset. I said, table such and such needs to be pre-bus. And she's, I know, you're not my manager, and starts on me. And I was like, she said, they just left. I said, well, pre-busing means it's done before they leave. You know, not just when
Can I
they
ask
leave.
you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you feel responsible to take on the manager role without the manager pay?
Because I want the customer to have a good experience.
Why?
Because I've been a customer. It's appropriate. If I'm going to commit to an industry that is providing customer service,
And if it's harming you?
I need to leave. I need to leave. I'm not gonna,
Can't you just be the hostess with the mostess and just
no,
be
I can't, because if I don't move, they'll tell me to move. So if I'm not moving and I'm just standing there, they'll complain that I didn't move or tell me I need to go XYZ. So that's
so if
why
you
I'm
don't
saying,
do it, then you get the burden of it.
yeah, I still have to go help anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to talk about the rest of that shit. I'm not trying to be a manager.
Yeah.
I'm being a team leader and a communicator. Like I'm communicating
I
something
get it. I get
has to
it.
be done, and I'm the hostess. That's my job. So
I was a hostess,
I'm
and I
not
just
trying
had
to
to
pick on the
I
management.
just
The
had to
management role goes in
stand
and puts the
behind the
tables
podium.
in and tells them, you know,
I wasn't
when they
doing
come in
anything
and clocks
extra.
them in, clocks them out, and shit. I'm not doing that. I'm seating them and communicating with the servers at what level it needs to be done, because how can I go seat somebody when I feel like I'm walking at fucking O. Henry's, stepping on chips and shit? It ain't swept. It's just not that way.
It feels like they're expecting you to be like an assistant manager while also being a hostess.
They really don't. It's not like they have an expectation of that. They want the servers want somebody else to do their shit for the most part. There's some really good servers, but when they feel like they have to actually work, they want to complain, because if they complain enough, then management don't want to lose the servers. But in this case, management has been really kind of, but they can't control what happens when they're not there. We had a
But
guest
why is
meeting.
that your problem?
What do you mean?
Like why are all these things that are supposed to be like I was in the restaurant business like
I don't know. Why
throughout
are
my
you
whole
saying, why is it
20s.
my problem? I don't know what you're saying that for.
I feel like you're taking on a lot of responsibility.
Because I don't know how you can work in a restaurant business and walk on nasty shit and seat people at dirty tables, but I'm not. So I'm going to say something. That's
Because
why.
it's not my job to bus. It wasn't my job to tell
But it
the
is
other
my
waitresses
job to
what to
provide the
do.
customer, when I seat them at the table as a hostess, a clean seat. So if the trickle is not
If
doing
it was
their
your
job,
restaurant, yeah, I mean, I'd get it. You put great value into your job, and it's another thing I admire about you. But I'm wondering if you're taking on like way too much responsibility. This isn't your restaurant.
if I go
These
into a job like a hostess position and don't do my job, which is all I'm trying to do, is my job, but it requires me to say something to somebody.
Yeah, so
So
what? You like stressed all the time. That
I am
sucks.
stressed all the time, but I'm not stressed all the time if I'm attempting to help my team. We're supposed to be a team, and people on the team are shitty, had that kind of shitty attitude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not doing anything that I mean, if my team is struggling, I'm going to help my team. I don't even understand how you can even say that, like you're saying
But
that.
are they
Why
helping
do you even
you?
want to do that? But because it's my integrity, it's my character. I committed to a team. So what if it's not my restaurant? It's where I work. It's what I committed to. I
But
don't.
if the team isn't acting like a team,
Then I
you
need to
can't be the
quit.
only one holding the
If
team
there's eight
together.
people
Yeah.
on a team and they got five wanting to do it and we barely holding it together, but I come home and feel like this, I need to quit the team if
Hmm.
the team's not going to come up. That's the issue.
Good on you. Good on you. Good on you. No, no shade to you. No shade to you. I like you're the kind of hostess I would want to have in my
Yeah, and
restaurant.
the
But
manager sees
if
it
I
to
was the
a
one who was
degree.
owning the restaurant, I would say this, you're taking on a lot of responsibility. And if they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. They have to learn how to do it.
What you're saying is not computing with me right now. I
That's
feel like I'm talking to
okay.
one of them right now, honestly, when I'm talking to you about this. Like, you're like, oh, fuck it, just don't even do that. Why are you even worried about doing something? I'm like, because I committed to a job that it's supposed to have a level from the actual industry that created this way of doing things, but management is struggling because they're teeter-tottering between the ones that don't want to do shit and the ones that do shit. So they losing the good people, which is across the board, which is Uranus and this thing going into communities and cleaning that shit up. I put my time in. They see it. It's a difference. They weren't
I
there.
would hire you as a manager, not a hostess. I'd be like, get
No,
this lady
that's
as
the
the
kicker though.
manager.
I don't want to be a manager. I want to go
Oh,
be able to do my job, but I want management to have them do their jobs so I can do my job. I'm not doing anything outside of my job, like telling them what they're complaining on me about is not doing anything outside of my job. Being a team member, all of that stuff. I'm not doing like management shit. I'm helping my team. Somebody called in, so we were short a person. So I don't mind helping my team, but I do mind fucking being talked to and treated that way over something that
yeah.
I did not have. I wish they did in
Control
Louisiana. They
over.
did, Azrael. I sent him an invite. Did it expire? Hang on. There we go.
Come on
There we
up,
go.
AZ. Hey, brother.
What I'm thinking is like the four agreements, as friends, as colleagues and stuff like here, we have to hear each other out. And I hear Jenny perspective, but I also hear your perspective, and the responsibility because, as servers, even in this industry, we try to go out of the way and help people. But
Yeah.
in the same sense, you have to remind yourself, is it benefiting you? Taking on their burden. The owner got has to have cameras there. He
I
knows
know.
what is going on there.
I wish
People
they did.
talk. So in a position like where you're at, Tina, if that is what you want to do, I recommend you maybe putting an application on some other businesses that are similar and say, why don't you come to my job and watch me work and allow yourself to be you, because I think the burden does happen to me too. I go beyond my what I'm supposed to do, and it hurts me, because I do want to make an example, but it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what Jenny Lane is saying. It's putting a lot of stress on you, and you're not getting paid for those for that position. So
Stresses. Yeah.
yes, so what you need to do, Tina, is maybe keep a personal list to yourself, your priorities. This is what I do, this is what I want to gain from this job, and let the cameras there film them not doing what they're doing.
I'm
And
over it now. They done fucking ran me in the ground. I'm over it. Like I am there. I got there
And
a week or so
yeah,
ago.
you've reached
Yeah,
you've reached your
I've already,
expiration date.
yep. And I have other things happening and all that stuff, but it still doesn't, I still have to work through, which I haven't been rejected by my managers. Like they are on board with coming up from this stuff, but if they're not there and that kind of shit happens, I've had to endure it. So as a
It's because they
manager,
have a third manager. They have a third manager. You. because you're so good at your job.
I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to spend the time. I don't want it. I don't want it. I just want to go in and do my job. And management is coming up with
It's
that.
because you care. It's because
Yeah.
you care.
And I
It's
want the
because you care
customer
about
to
your
be
job
pleased,
and you
and I
care
know
about
that
your
they're not.
integrity and you care about doing the best job that you possibly can at this job. But unfortunately, when we're overachievers and when we really care about our jobs, sometimes we end up emptying our cup
Oh
and
yeah.
other people take advantage of that. And what I'm seeing here, what I'm hearing here, is that it sounds like your managers aren't doing their job, and then they've got you doing parts of their job.
Well, that's been the
That's
issue
not
because
good.
the whole, when you talk about cameras, I've been taking notes and there's a lot of shit about that dynamic. And that's the other part of it, you know? And so I'm just there. But what it has done is caused me to practice how I handle shit and not be more wise with the way I handle shit, to have a little more endurance and to process some of the stuff that comes up from really the contrast and seeing how people talk and treat, and putting more information into my study of humanity, into action. And I mean, I've leveled up for certain, but I love it in so many other ways. It's so much fun, and I have other people that
Yeah.
I love there. So I'm just kind of hanging, but I really don't like being treated like that, and that's why I stayed in domestic violence, because of it was good in so many ways, but them couple of little things, like you don't think it's happening, but it's actually really happening. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to process my shit at home with my baby and all that other stuff, that I don't want to take my time out and write something up. I've been making a couple of voice notes here and there, like about some things, but to write every single little thing, I'm like, this is not even worth it for me. I'm out.
It's not. It's, you got other things. You got a lot on
I'm
your
so
plate
done.
to be worrying about how somebody else's restaurant is running. Like that's like the least. Like I would love for you just to find a restaurant that just like at the places that I've worked at, the hostess was the easiest job. It was the easiest job. You just stand there, you make sure the tables that somebody busses. I don't even have to make sure that the tables are bussed. That's
See, that's
somebody
what
else's
I mean.
job.
See how you say
That
that?
that's somebody else's job. I was a hostess and a waitress and a cocktail waitress for like 10 years. I made bank at that place. Bank at that place. I had to leave because I was getting groped by my manager. So it's like, talk about toxic
Mm.
workplaces. I mean, this was like the early 2000s, so I mean, it was just par for the course. It didn't really matter where you were going, like whether it was a music festival, a concert, the subway, your job. Like, people are gonna be grabbing your butt, grabbing your boobs, like, but
Even
you would
that.
hope that your manager wasn't doing it. But as far as like when I was a hostess there, I just I just took people's guest reservations. I sat them at the tables that they needed to be at, and all I had to do was stand there at the front and be a figurehead and bring it. They didn't necessarily like some of the things that I wore and all that stuff, but I could wear whatever I wanted to wear. I didn't have to wear the white shirt or the black tie or the cocktail waitress tight, really super tight red shirt. I didn't have to do. I could just stand there, bring people to their tables and bring them back. Like, that was it. I'm not bussing tables. Like, I'm not running food. I'm not picking up like other. No, I mean, as a waitress sometimes you do that. You help out your other wait staff when they're overwhelmed or whatever. But as a hostess, no. Like, if I was running a restaurant, my hostess needs to be at the front. She's the first hello, hi, I'm here. Not managing. No. No. Mm-mm. You just give a lot. You give a lot, Tina. You give a lot. You just have to be aware of where you're giving,
You got that right.
because you have a lot to give, but you are also deserving of receiving and resting and
I'm
not
deserving of
having.
not fucking being abused. That's what I'm
Yeah,
deserving.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly it. And I love the fact that when people are talking to you a certain way, you let them know. Let people know.
Yeah, I feel that shit. I can feel it. Like I'm not
I
trying to be
felt
a
the
man.
energy of it. It was like you just talking about that story was making me shake all over. I
Yeah.
felt it. I felt it secondhand. That's why I've said what I said. It has nothing to do about you or your work ethic or your integrity or what you're doing. You know, it was no shade on you. It was shade on that whole
You say
organization
you don't
that
have to
seems to
try
be
to be a
taking
manager,
advantage.
like I'm trying to be a manager. That is
No,
exactly what
it's
they
not
say.
that you're trying to be a manager. It's that other people are making you feel like that's your job.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. And I'm not trying to be a manager.
Because they're being lazy.
That part. And
Because
then
the managers are
manage
being lazy and you're picking up the slack.
and
Not that you're trying to
management
be a
don't want to
manager, it's
tell
that
them and
there's
don't want to be on it because everybody's exhausted from being a manager.
yeah,
I don't want to be a manager. But if you got some,
obviously.
if you have a great fucking hostess that can stay on top of it and see to it that it's done, if everybody's doing their fucking parts, then that should be supported and not fucking shat
And
upon.
you should be
And that's
paid.
the issue I'm having.
And you should be paid for the level of work that you're giving this restaurant.
I have
and
a
you're
decent
not.
paycheck. I just don't work that many hours. I have a decent pay by the hour. I just don't
Are
work
getting
that many.
paid a manager's pay because you're doing a manager's job.
You're really fucking getting to my side that I really don't want you to get to. Really.
I'm not saying you're trying to do this. I'm not saying that you're the one who's
Why do you keep saying it?
because other people have forced you into this role.
Yeah. That has happened. Yes.
Other people have forced you into this role,
But you
and you
tell
don't
me
want
why
it,
you're not
but
getting
you're
paid.
doing it.
Hey, why don't you, if it's such a big thing, why don't you call them and ask them? That's like me saying that to you. Why don't you, Jenny
I
Lee,
would
call
love to
them
do
and ask
that.
them?
I would love to call
Do
them.
it. I just do it.
So,
Get my power.
what if those other employees are family to the owner or the
No, they just been there a long. They've been there a lot and
so
long.
they feel like they have seniority.
Yeah, but I mean, when I tell you that my managers see and know, but they don't want it to be that way in one way, but at the same time, at this point, if they say, "Hey, Tina, you want to be a manager?" Just hypothetically, I said yes. Then there's all that other shit. When really, I'm not doing anything extra like that, like management shit. I'm just doing my job, saying, "Hey, table such and such needs to be pre-bus." That's my job. To let them know where things are here. Such and such needs table such and such needs to be swept. That's my job. But me doing my job, they don't want to do their part. If I say that, they're acting as if I'm acting like a manager. But I wouldn't even have to say do your fucking shit if you were doing your shit.
Or if management was doing their job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not saying that you're trying to be a manager. I'm not saying that you're trying to like push people or be the one who's the manager role or whatever. I'm saying that other people are slacking at their job because that's not your job.
Yeah.
That's the manager's job.
Yeah, I agree.
And
So,
you've taken it up because they are taking advantage of the fact of your work ethic and your integrity, and it pisses me off.
and all of
It
that
pisses me off.
is what I have to work on because that's the type shit that was allowed my entire life. That's
I
what
get it. I get it.
I
I'm the
know.
same way. I'm the same way.
Well, we're here.
Same
You know,
exact way.
we're here to help one another. And I was thinking maybe you give us the name of the restaurant we call,
That's what
Yeah,
I said.
right?
Yeah,
No,
go
for
ahead.
real.
or right
Like I'm ready to pretend I was a customer.
Yes.
I could easily write some kind of email. I would do it. But if you're planning on getting
I'm
out of
not.
there.
That's why I'm having this hard time
Oh,
because I
okay.
don't. I
So you're
really,
not.
want it to come up. I have things in the queue in case it does, in case I do make that
Okay.
final decision. But I would rather it come up. So whatever happened with this temp manager last night, the other manager this morning when I called in because there was a discrepancy with my clock in, she was like, "Okay, see you tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, see you tomorrow." But I just like I'm
It's kind
tired
of
of going
like,
to the principal's office and having a
yeah,
conversation about it.
it's kind of like when you're in a situation, any situation, or an abusive situation that you can't leave. You the only option you have is to take a look at yourself.
That's right. That's what I'm
There's
doing.
literally nothing else you can do. You can't control
Yes,
other people, you can't control the other managers, you can't control the servers, you can't control an abusive partner, spouse, not even a partner. You can't control that. You can only control your reaction to it. And if that means pulling back on whatever, and then if they're like, "Oh, well, you're not doing your job," well, then either make me a manager or I'll find another job, because it's I do
that's the
have
other
experience
part.
in this.
Oh
So,
my gosh, you're so right when you said all that part about management not doing their job. That would be the wise part to say, look, obviously you have what it takes. We don't want to hinder your career because what if you wanted to become a manager and go manage another one? Take
yep,
my own store. But that's
yep,
being held back from me. That opportunity for growth is being held back from me because of the peer pressure from the other people with that knowledge that are like,
yep.
oh no, I'm going to just complain about her overdoing her job right.
You're just in the wrong, like you're like manager, you are at manager level. Like, I'm not saying you're trying to be the manager, but I'm saying you're at management level. You're basically, what's the word, Maura? Maybe you can help me. Like,
Overqualified.
you're under, yeah, you're overqualified for the position that you're at, but they realize that you're overqualified and they're taking advantage of it. So what are your options? You can only control what you're doing,
Yeah.
and you can reel back. You can be like, okay, you know what? That table's not bust. That customer's going to be upset. Like, and then the management is going to have to come in and work on that vacuum, not you. That's what I've been trying to
That has
say this whole
happened
time.
already too. I'm pretty far in this queue, and I saw a big shift. And I had the GM sat me down and said, I did some investigation. I was wondering why you're pushing back on this so much, and told me I was right. But not after it costed me days coming home toiling and being like, fuck, man, I got to find another job. Like, I'm not even going to do this. And so,
Mm-hmm.
but then that part of me that is who I am wants to just hang in there and bring it on up and come back around. But I got so disheartened over the last 2 weeks that today I didn't get up off the couch. And I know that shit is to bring up stuff to like work on other shit that needs to happen. Like,
Yep.
not allowing it to go on this long, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But one of the things that I notice that I do is I'll give and give and give till the energy shifts, and then the
Yes.
person's like, oh, I see what I did wrong, and I'm like, fuck you, I don't give a fuck about you no more.
Yep. I
I
mean,
gave
how much
to
more do
them.
you have left to give?
That's what I
You
mean.
got nothing left to give here.
Yeah.
So your only option is to give less. And that feels like shit to me. Oh, excuse me. That
Me
feels like
too.
poop to me.
Me
It feels like
too.
poop to me when I have to like reel in my best, so that other things have to happen, and sometimes the other things that have to happen end up falling on me. But guess what? It's not on me. It's not. Especially in a workplace. Like, I remember being a teacher, and I taught pre-K, and I would give and give and give and give and give, and they just kept taking and taking and taking and taking. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm not decorating the classroom with my own money. I'm not sitting here for 30 hours on my own and doing my own curriculum so that you can benefit, and that I'm like, I'm working at like a master's level of teaching while you're giving me like somebody who has zero education. I'm just not doing it. And then I had to come to terms with the fact that it had nothing to do with my self-worth. It was just other people who were taking advantage and exploiting my work ethic. Like Gen Z has got it down. They got it down. They're like, I'm going to give you exactly what you're paying me for. That's what they're
That's
doing.
what I'm
That's
working
what they're
with.
doing now. That's what they're doing now. And like, I'm glad I'm not in the workforce right now, because that's, I mean, men have been doing it for ages, ages, ages. But then when we got into the, like, that's what when Maura was talking about this, I was like there are people in offices and at my jobs who are like George Costanza. Nobody said anything to them because they were men, but because I'm a woman who's in the workforce, I'm getting paid 80 cents to the dollar of what you're getting, but you can do a third of the work. But here I am trying to prove to you that I'm a good worker.
Yeah.
No, screw that.
No.
Screw that. No, I'm done. Like, I'm going to give you the minimum. I'm going to give you the minimum amount, and that has no reflection on me as a person. If you want me to give more, if you want me to have more duties, if you want me to have the responsibility of 3 people at this job, then pay me for 3 people. And Gen Z are doing that. They're doing that now.
Well, that's
And I
that's the pivot
think it's
here. What
awesome.
I'm working on is to have the self-worth
Yep.
to do exactly what you just said. And it really is like it's deeply entrenched shit.
I
And
feel
I'm
it. I get
working
it.
on it.
I've
I'm
been
angry with
exploited.
myself
I've
for
been
not just having my
exploited in the
daughter be like,
workplace
bye,
since I was,
Gen Z.
yeah, exactly. Since I was like 13 years old, I've been exploited in the workplace. Exploited, groped, under overqualified and whatever, and just begging for scraps. I'm not doing that in my relationships, and I'm certainly not doing that in the workplace. I'm just not anymore. I don't give an F. I don't.
I'm
I
there.
don't. Find a
I
place
was
that
really
works for
enjoying my
you.
life too.
But the only thing you can control is yourself. That's it. And if they let you go, then they let you go. Then you're like, okay, well, you know what? You're just using me for all of my extra qualifications. Bye. I'm gonna go hostess at a place where I can just stand at the podium and smile,
Well, but
because
there's
that's what a hostess job is, not a
right.
manager job.
Yeah, there's there's an interesting phenomenon, which is for the majority of humans, job defines who they are,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Yep.
not having other mechanism to kind of like to express your worth other than the value that you bring through your craft, whatever your craft might be,
Mm-hmm.
is terrible because like um, Tina's mentioning, right? So so the value that Tina brings is not the fact that so the way I'll say it is it's not that management is not appreciating it, the customers appreciate it when she's there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's not all the customers, and it's not a systemic change because not all the hostesses do the same thing, because otherwise all the hostesses would be having a similar problem. So
Mm-hmm.
so the value in her passion, right, the passion that she puts behind her craft is what kind of shows or showcases these are the things that I can do. But the difficult part is because that happened to my sister, right? She got affected by the Enron. You remember Enron?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but that's okay. I'll look it
Yeah,
up
so it's a
later.
big scam. But she worked with that corporation, and she was flying super high. I mean, like, oh my gosh, this woman, this is a young woman. Holy moly. She's like in her late 30s, 39. She's out there with, the C suite. She's just working her operations teams and whatever, and doing all this oil stuff. And all of a sudden the company goes bankrupt because it was all a lie.
Oh.
And all the worth that she thought she brought
Yep.
diminished.
Gone. Poof.
Yes. Now I need to find a job because none of them got sevens. None of them got anything. They all got
Holy
zero,
moly.
right?
You know, I was thinking maybe that place is not even a restaurant. Maybe it's a front for something else, and they don't really care what's
A
going
lot
on.
of
Yeah.
them are. A
Yeah.
lot of them are, Azrael. A
Well,
lot
if
of
it
them
was
Yeah.
are.
privately
Yeah.
owned, I would totally agree.
But you see what I mean? So it's like I don't think that, and she went through like super bad time because she could not find herself because her job defined her. Everything was, oh, you're so good because you work at. You're so good
Yeah.
because you do all these tasks. You're so good because you have this position. But then when all of that goes away, what do you have left? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
I'm
like
in
when your identity is tied into a role and it goes
right.
right
That's
back to that imposter syndrome. And
correct.
like people who are vultures will see the insecurity that you have in feeling like you're not the best at your craft or that you're not doing enough, and they will it is essentially like being in an abusive relationship. It's like being in a
Yes.
cult. You know, like you
Well,
have this like CEO or you have this principal. Like my parents retired. My parents were both teachers, and their whole identities were wrapped around being really, really, really good teachers, like beloved within the community, really good. But then when they retired, they had nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, nothing.
So
So
you're
they
seeing a lot
just
of that going
drifted.
on.
What's that, Kimberly?
You're
Sorry,
seeing a lot
hi.
of that going on right now. There's a big uproar going on across the United States right now because people's benefits are getting cut off. But you
Mm-hmm.
won't see that in the restaurant industry because, where do you see all these players? Because you just saw a huge uproar of a group of players in a certain association getting cut off because you saw that they were running numbers. And even though they are getting paid a huge wealth amount for the game that they are playing, on the side, they were making huge wealth amounts in other places. But where were they participating and playing their wealth amounts? Because they do hang around in these restaurants, and these restaurants are owned by other places that are called La Castra, whatever, other words, right? And it's through these places that are owned through other places where people work and have to make a living, right? And my whole family are also educators and teachers and professors and have their doctorates, and they also
Mm-hmm.
work through universities. And these places are all combined and intertwined with each other, and that's what they
Yeah.
do. So supposedly they have, a high ranking, so to speak, what would be considered something of higher standing. Some of them even, got those higher educations through being of service through the government before they got those higher education standards, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but then, sometimes, women are expected to be caretakers, women and men, and it's a generational difference. So if you go back decades to decades to decades, those are core belief systems that are ingrained in us or even come from other places of servitude. So then that could even be in your DNA coding system, right? If that
As
makes
women especially, I
as
mean, even
women
in the United
especially,
States, like
right?
we couldn't even open a bank account. My mom, when she first started working at 21, she
Yeah,
couldn't even open a bank account for her own paycheck. She had to have her daddy do it. It
right.
went into her daddy's account.
Mm.
This was the late 60s. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
So
you weren't
it
allowed to
doesn't
own a
surprise
home.
me.
You weren't allowed to have a
No.
credit card or even buy a home without having somebody co-sign it for you.
So it doesn't surprise me that we're like overachieving and trying to overwork and overcompensate
I love
we
my
feel like we're
job.
gonna lose it.
I
You
love
know.
my job. I do it because it makes me feel great to have it done. And sometimes we have a great team, and it's not like that. And
Yeah.
okay, I love y'all, but my baby's texting me. I'm just gonna click over. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Bye.
it's really interesting how we really want to do things, and it makes us feel good to be able to do things. Like my mom, she actually started Western New York ALD, Adult Learning Disabled, and had to go and try to get funding to be able to teach these classes in the state, which is now United States, across the way.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, but she was never really known for it, or like fighting to try to just get funding to be able to teach these classes, which are now since the 70s something that is good for disabled children. I don't even want to use that word. For anybody that needs these
Yeah.
type of classes for their children or their adult, people to be able to get this kind of teaching. They didn't have things like that back then. Now they do. But I'll never forget when they were spending money to have, like Super Bowls, and she was fighting just to get funding for things like that, right? So, and you were just, I heard when I popped back in, you saying, why would people want to have to be able to spend their own money just to have extra supplies for classes? And I think the rate of pay for teachers is still probably around the same. People are not getting increases for the amount of money that they spend to educate
It
themselves.
caps. Yeah, it
Right.
caps. It like you
There's
can get a
caps.
PhD, but there's a
Right.
cap, and you can do pretty well. But as far as as far as what happens within your own classroom, I mean, my mom taught in the same town that I grew up in, which is wealthy. We weren't wealthy, like they bought in real early when they could, before it like boomed with wealth. But like the property taxes here are really expensive, the schools are really good and all this stuff. But she wasn't getting any kind of funding for her. But that's the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that if you invest your own funds and your own time outside of the workplace, you're enabling this sort of capitalism to continue, whether you're a man or a woman. At some point in time, you have to go, no more of my time, no more of my money. What can I do here so that I can get through this and I can still function myself without having to take that money away from my own tribe? Like we're, as women, we're taught to give and give and give and give and sacrifice and martyrdom and all this kind of stuff. But at some point in time, we have to stop and go, I don't have to, I'm not letting other people down when I pull back. I'm letting myself down when I give to the point of exhaustion. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting the people who are choosing to love me down. So it's this very delicate balance that we have to sort of renegotiate in life, because there's only so much you can give. I use the words care aware. Just be care aware. Be aware of where your care is going. If it's
So
not
when it
coming
gets to the
back to
point when
you,
you're
then
caring for others to the point where people end up getting sick, and that's when the diseasement becomes the disease you create for yourself. And we've come
mm,
into generations of people that now, have other things like, cancer, diabetes, stress-related diseases, what they
yeah.
might call mental illness, but I don't like to use that word because I just call, that we need more emotional intelligence so that it doesn't run into things like this where people, somehow are considered unwell and they're not really unwell. They might just be tired or stressed and they've run into
We're
these
in an
things.
unwell
And we're
society.
in an unwell society, right? And that's the point I
Systemically.
wanted to get to. Yeah,
But
Systemically.
we're trying to get it better. That's what
right.
we're trying to do.
But
So
we're not going to get it
this
better by
pivot,
enabling the people who are exploiting us.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that what happened in this dynamic is I'm not the whole reason it's an issue is because when I get to the point where I'm at where I know my limits and I'm good, I'm not overdoing anything. I ask them for help. And when they don't want to give help, they're not being a team player. And that's what I don't want. So I'm
Or
not
they don't
desperately
care.
over giving.
Or you're
Yeah, that's the
scaffolding them.
whole. That's the
You
whole
have to be
issue.
aware that sometimes our help, because we don't want to see something fail, is scaffolding other people to take advantage of us. In an abusive relationship or in an abusive workplace, sometimes you got to step back and let the whole thing fall. Let it all fall, because then the whole thing can be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's scary.
That's part of what I know about who I am here. I've seen this too many times, and that's exactly what happens. And then, but then there's that. But then that means right now it's not a. That's why it's not rejection, so to speak. It's me. Like I have the opportunity now to try other things, to go into something else. I just happen
Yeah.
to really love the job. And if they were adhering to what the company says we're supposed to do as individuals at the job, each person doing their job, it would be a great job. But since that's
Yeah.
not happening, that's the
Ugh, I
issue.
get that. I get that. But it's the same thing as like as being in a relationship and seeing the potential of somebody, right? Like you see the good. You see where they can just do this one thing and then everything will be better. But we have zero control over that. Like it's like the whole education system for me. Like I can see every single thing in America that would need to change because I lived in the Netherlands, because I saw how they did it, and because it works. I'm like, I came back here with a fire and I was like, this is what needs to change. And then I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, I cannot do this as one person alone. This is ridiculous. I need to get out. I need to get out of it. As much as I love teaching, as much as I love being a teacher, as much as I love my classroom, the system is broken. So whether that's a microcosm of a restaurant or a macrocosm of the whole entire thing, at some point in time you have to have radical acceptance for where it's at, and then the only thing you can change is yourself.
And you put it clear, because that's example that we can use is, lower the standard and expectation of them, your fellow workers. Lower the expectation of what they are going to be doing in your benefit. And then for yourself, find a realistic goal on a day-to-day basis. You know what, I'm going to host and do a couple little things, and that's what I'm going to do today, and no more of that. Anything beyond what I'm going to do today is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to expect anything from them because they're not helpful. And that's what you need to do, is lower the expectation of them and set a realistic goal for yourself.
Yeah, it got me so hard, dude. I mean, sometimes I'm like 5 minutes late, but like I was getting to the point where I couldn't even hardly get up to go in. It was that bad. And so then after everything, she goes, I'm just telling you, if you're late again, we're gonna have to so she could have written me up, but she didn't. She told me that it would be about the paperwork. And I was thinking, I'm so done right now, because if I were to go back and write like a air quotes rebuttal or whatever you want to call it to what they would say to me, and it went somewhere like to corporate or something, it would be over with. Like so much shit. But that's what's so exhausting about this, is it brings me into the courtroom type thing. And that's why I know
You don't have to prove that. Like, you have so much going on. You're working through so much stuff, so much great stuff that's happening to you, that's coming to the surface, that's new, and all this stuff. The reality is we there's a lot of us that put a lot of our energy into our workplace because that's just who we are. We're just designed that way, or our work ethic was that way. But the thing is that if you left tomorrow, they wouldn't care.
like,
Nobody at the end of their life. Nobody at the end of their life is like, I wish I gave more to my work.
That's exactly
Nobody.
where I'm at.
Nobody.
but
Yeah.
that's because you
Nobody. It's
think of at
okay
the
for
end of
you
your
to
life.
give
I don't think
less.
of it like that. So when
It's
you say
okay for
something
you to
like
give
that,
less.
I won't think at the end of my life. Like when you tell me that, I just should have just offed myself today,
Well,
like I
you're
normally do.
immortal. You're immortal, so
Mhm.
That'll be.
So I
that's
guess
not
this week
possible.
Saturday Night Live is
It
going to
is
run into
possible.
next week
We're going
Saturday
against
Night Live
science when
where
we say that.
What's that, Jim?
Sunday morning live.
no, next Saturday I'm gonna join Tina. We're gonna talk a little bit about light language, and I'm not exactly sure. I'm glad
A
I'm here
whole bunch of
tonight.
stuff coming up.
Yeah, we have some things
Learn
coming
light
up because,
language and all kind of healing stuff that I'm definitely needing.
Kimberly, you're
You
so
yeah.
know,
chill. You're so chill.
Well, I
You're so.
wasn't always so chill though. That's my whole point. Like I have several
I've
degrees that
only ever seen you
serve
chill.
me, and like helping my dad run his multi-million-dollar company was running my mother and I into the ground, and my mother passed away, and I just like
Oh shit.
I
Look
gave
at
up
you.
on being overly educated about a million things that just were not serving a purpose, and I was
There
fine
you go.
still.
There you
And
go.
I don't want to make money for millionaires, and I don't want to be stressed, and I'm living in my father's house, who is now on the other side, and I want my son to move on with his life. And I, for the first time in my life, feel safe in my body, and I'm not stressed because I just live in the moment, dancing around the house,
Yeah.
singing,
Right?
and I don't. I'm not going to say I don't care about, but I don't. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
So
that's where I'm at too, sister. I'm like,
um,
I don't want to make money for the man anymore.
don't
Like I hate
either.
to put it so bluntly like that,
Yeah,
but
I'm with you,
whether
I
it's
girl.
a
want to have the
school
courage
system
to
or
think
whether it's the
not be.
restaurant or whatever, like I will
Yeah.
live on
And
bare
so
basics, bare
I have a degree
basics.
in professional chef and hotel restaurant management
Oh
and
shit.
all that. And so I did that for a living as well. So bringing this subject up is kind of on point where I almost ran myself in the ground doing that. I do not want to stand on my feet at a restaurant.
Yes,
I
Yes.
mean, I would jump in and help anybody in anybody's job, but I wouldn't unalive myself to do it. So
Yeah, like we are
yeah, it's
unaliving
stressful.
making other people money. Like
Yes.
I was working at a private school while
Yeah.
while the person who owned the chain was driving all these different Mercedes and I was getting paid minimum wage with a
Well,
bachelor's degree
yeah.
halfway through my master's. No,
Yeah.
no,
That's it right
no.
there.
You're not exploiting my vulnerabilities anymore. No, I'm
Exactly.
done. I'm
Well, I
done.
would drive their car too, but I'd just be like, which one of your cars am I taking?
Yeah, you can pay me. You can pay me in your new Benz.
It's like I'm taking
Yeah,
your Mercedes or I'm taking your Benz and going for a ride. I need some air.
yeah. But it's this whole capitalistic
Yeah.
dream that we've been conditioned, and
Um,
I feel like it's very different, especially as women, because we are fairly new to the workplace. We really are, and that is being exploited. And I don't want any of our women. I don't want any human being exploited for their personal drive and just care
or
for
knocked
for
down
seeing
for
the
it,
whole thing. What's that?
or knocked down for it. Like,
Yes.
like what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
yeah.
That's worse. That's worse. That's worse than when you're doing the job of three people and then somebody puts you down for doing the
Ugh,
job because
it's
somebody
being
else is
mean
not
and
doing it.
nasty.
Oh
I
my
think I
god.
caught up on 30 years
Yeah,
of sleep this
yeah.
year.
You caught up on what?
30 years of sleep this year.
I know. Me too. My god. I'm like, I'm a good worker. I'm a good worker bee. Look at me. I'm so good at what I do. I'm so educated. I did all the right things and everything. You know what? Maybe my mom and my dad, like, they were born in 45 and 46. They were born in the sweet spot. Maybe they did all the right things. They had the work ethic. They could buy the house. They could support themselves on two teacher salaries, which couldn't even happen now. My mom couldn't even afford this house right now on her teacher salary with a master's degree. So even if you're doing the right things, and even if you're doing the integrity and you're doing the work and whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to reap the benefits of what you put in. And
Yeah.
that's what we have to start to recognize. That's the change now. We're not living in the same time. We're not living in the same American dream. It's different, and we have to pivot. We have to pivot one way or another, or we're all going to be sucked dry.
Okay, I'm gonna add something here so that way we find mutual grounds as far as the restaurant we were talking about. No, for real.
I'll send you the address.
No, 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 no,
Well,
no,
no
Give us an
matter.
email,
This is
no.
the
manager.
promise.
No, I found it, and I see where Tina is at with this. Okay, so franchise restaurants hosts are the first point of contact for guests and play a key role in creating a positive dining experience. Here's the breakdown of their duties: greeting and seating guests. So they welcome guests with a friendly demeanor. They manage the wait list accordingly, provide menus and information, presenting guests with menus, informing them of the
Mm-hmm.
specials, maintaining a clean and organized host area, keeping the host stand clean and clutter free, ensuring menus are stacked, organized, and monitoring. Assist the guest needs, addressing guest inquiries and concerns, communicating with servers and management, coordinating with the servers to ensure tables are properly set and ready for guests, handling phone calls, and saying goodbye to the guests. So that is what a manager is supposed to do, especially in a franchise restaurant. So my question is, your manager might have you as an assistant manager without you knowing, and
Mm-hmm.
probably is relaying the information to corporate, and you're not even aware that you probably are supposed to be getting assistant management money, and she's probably pocketing the money. And I'm not trying to
No,
put no, no,
they
no.
gave. I make more money than the regular hostess does,
Okay, okay, okay. So
and and they. I have already talked to them about potentially one day, when I'm ready, going into management. But I am not doing management stuff. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do at a hostess, to have a person sit down at a table and it be
right,
clean.
yeah, like the
So
stuff like the stuff I
Yeah.
just read. Right, that's what
yeah.
you're supposed to do.
So when
On
I
your
So
say
resume, it says hostess, but in reality, you are doing the responsibilities of a management.
right, so what I
so, I
recommend.
don't know why you're doing this, Jenny Lane, but let me
No, hold on,
clarify
hold
Oh,
on,
one more
hold on, hold on,
time.
Tina,
oh,
hold on, Tina, hold on, Tina. So what I recommend, Tina, is doing what you're doing, but remember, don't put too much expectation on yourself. Allow them to be the way they are, and say to the customers when they're leaving or while they're there, is everything okay? Is if nothing, if nothing is up to your par, please let me know, and I'm gonna relay it to management. In the
mm,
meantime, don't take it personal. Don't exhaust
The
your
customers love
emotions.
me.
yeah.
It's not the
Yeah, don't.
customers. It's me doing my regular due. So I'll say, we have a headset. Table two needs to be pre-bussed. That's my part of my responsibility, to notify
Has
what has to be
has
done.
this?
But I wouldn't have to say that if they were doing theirs.
So let them do theirs. When you were a
You
hostess in
don't get
other
it. You
places
don't
that you've
get it.
worked at, if you were a hostess in other places that you worked at, was this the same experience that you've experienced?
No, no.
Okay. So they're putting a lot of extra duties on you,
You keep
and
saying that. They're not doing that. Why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that? They are not putting extra duties on me. I keep telling you that.
Well,
it's
just
the
You're not hearing
manager's
me or something.
job to control every single employee in that place. That's what a manager does,
No,
including
anybody
you.
that works in the restaurant business knows you all pitch in.
It's not
That's
helping
part
me.
of being part of the whole thing. It just is.
My
If you
job
see
as a
somebody
But
hostess
a
that's
manager's job is to delegate duties.
yeah,
That's it. It's not the hostess's job.
like set up
Okay, well then let me further
a
one on you, since you keep telling me I'm doing a manager's job and I'm not. I am also a trainer. Okay. So at this point, management picking up the parts that they see are not being done by somebody else is one thing. I am allowed to speak. Hello, I'm speaking that your table needs to be bussed. I'm allowed to say that. That's my job. If they were doing theirs, I wouldn't have to say that. If they were
Because
automatically
that's the
bussing that
manager's
table.
job.
So
Jimmy, I'm really getting very upset about you keep saying that shit like that because it's really
Tina,
unnecessary. You're not getting it, or you're just fucking saying that. I don't know.
Tina,
But
is it a possible way that you could talk to the manager and say,
I
can you
have,
guys? No,
I
no, I'm
have,
saying no. A schedule like a once a week meeting, or maybe
I
once a day,
have, and
and
she
have
didn't
a.
even finish the second half of the meeting. And this is how crazy it is. This is how crazy it is. So the issue is when somebody talks to me like shit about anything there. I don't give a fuck if I'm doing a plumber's job. I do the dishwasher job if we need dishes done. I'm
Right.
a team player. I don't if it's above and beyond anything that I is in my capacity to do, painting my nails, I will fucking ask somebody to help me. If I ask somebody to help me and they respond with bullshit, they are the problem. So that's
But
the
it's also a
problem I'm having.
systemic problem. It's also a systemic problem. It's also the fact that that place is understaffed. The management doesn't seem to be doing what management does, and these duties are falling upon you, and they're causing you distress,
Yeah, because I want
and
the
it
customer
pisses
to have
me
a good
off.
experience, and
Yeah, I know you
it's not
do,
fair
because
to
you
the
care.
customer. And I mean, just for example, with
But it's
this,
also not fair to you.
it's
It's also
not, and
not
I'm not
fair to
okay with it.
you.
I'm very upset because
Okay,
now
good.
I'm having this conversation instead of talking about something else. But I have to get through it because I
Well, this
have
is
to.
about your life, and that's important. And how you live your life and how you spend your time is also very important. This is the human aspect of it. Yeah, we
No,
can talk about spirituality and Pluto and all that fucking, excuse me, and all that jazz. But our day-to-day conflicts and our day-to-day stressors, like this is where we if we listen and there's people around us that care, this is this kind of stuff that we need to talk about, because it's great if if you're spiritual and on a spiritual plane and connected to God and all that stuff, but we have the day-to-day human stuff that we have to deal with too. So this is also very important, Tina. Your well-being and your welfare and your worth and how you're treated in your workplace is important to me.
No, and I think that's why we're voicing up. But you know what? Here's another thing that Tina it sees it, and Tina's doing is that part of the hostess is enforcing restaurant policies, which can lead to awkward or confrontational situations. So yes, that stress comes along with your job position, and you doing it. It's just maybe find passion doing it. I know you love doing it, and it feels unappreciating when they're not doing their part. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own well-being. You're responsible how you feel.
Yeah.
So that's
I
what I
don't
said.
feel
You
like
know,
I
She's
don't
got
need
passion
them
in
to give me
abundance.
shit for validation. I don't need that. I don't give a
No.
fuck. I don't care what they say. Me and the customers, I could rock that bitch out without them. I know that. It's when they fucking talk to me like shit, like literally fucking yell at me or call me to the side to tell me anything about some fuck shit when I'm helping them do something.
Oh, are you
That's
talking
oh,
about
my
the
only
customers or the employees?
the employees.
employees.
Yeah.
That's my
Well,
issue. I'm fine with everything else. I don't care about that shit. I walk with my head just like this because I fucking know. It's when somebody screams at me.
Because you're a leader. Because you're a
Yeah,
leader. And
and
because
there's
they turn
nothing
to you
wrong
as
with
a
being a
leader.
teammate and being a leader, but instead of these low vibrational beings saying, "Wow, we have a team. We could." I mean, they could be the leader. I'm fine with going right along with it, but somebody's got to be some kind of. And she writes this thing. Thank you, Tina, for being a good role model for the thing. But I mean, these are youngsters, and I tried to explain this to her. We are hiring young people in there and just letting them just come in and just fuck off. Like we're not giving them any. Like you need to have some work ethic.
Training.
Yeah, but it's
Management
I
training.
am a trainer. I am a certified trainer in that place. So it is my job to say when something's not being done according to the job standard, protocol, whatever wordage that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just said.
yeah. There's a protocol. You're supposed to enforce restaurant policies. It's your
Policy.
responsibility. And yes, it can lead to awkward confrontational situations. And, and that's what these employees that you're dealing with are going to confront you or have attitude. But at the end of the day, you should remember, lower the standards of what you expect of them, because at the end of the day you represent you, and your health is number one. And they could get fired and whatever,
You're
and that's
number
how.
one.
Yes,
I'm
you're
not.
number one.
I'm not gonna be ever okay with sitting a person at a table with fucking chips on the floor or on the seat, or having them sit there through their fucking dessert with rib bones in their face. I'm not ever gonna be okay with that. So if that's the
Yeah.
standard, I'm gonna have to
Is
leave
that
the
worth
job.
your peace? Is that worth your peace?
That's what this is about.
So
That's
is
what
it
this
worth your
conversation is
peace?
about.
Are rib bones on the table and potato chips on the ground, is that worth your peace outside of your job?
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
Chip on the
Yeah.
floor, I might be able to let slide, but rib bones, no. No, I feel you, Tina.
I couldn't either, but then again, at this age, I'd be like, if somebody isn't doing their job, like, it's not worth my peace coming home and affecting the people that I love, affecting the people that are choosing to love me. It's just not. It's not my restaurant, and it has nothing to do with my work ethic. It has to do with the systemic
Well,
problem
I'll give you my
within that
address
work
and you can send
environment.
me a check for my bills since you in that position, taking that stance on it. Because I got to pay my bills till something clicks, and I have to make a decision one way or another. And this job
Hmm.
allows me to go there and have the time I need to fucking gruel out the grief that I have inside of me that I'm dealing with outside of there. So when you ask me things like, is it worth my peace? But you're listening to me to help me work through this, and you keep pecking on certain types of shit. I have to ask myself, what are you really saying to me right now?
Hmm. It's valid. Noted.
Wish we could be there. So maybe what we can switch the topic and let's talk about manifestations and intentions, and maybe we can manifest you, Tina, a restaurant. Your own, somehow, some way. We could probably manifest and
I'll take a
see,
food truck.
yeah, a fire. The possibilities of intentions.
Yeah.
Hot dogs are pure profit, girl.
Shit, or
Like,
jambalaya in
Tina,
that bean.
Tina, what do you like? What do you want? Do you have a dream about
I
like,
have several
if
avenues.
you?
It's like I thought about going ahead and going into like a place like Pathways or something and starting to get involved in helping people with the drug and alcohol thing. But I know that's part of this.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready for that healing wise. So that's not
Okay.
here yet. And then I love substitute teaching. I love it. And I'm great at it.
Uh huh.
I got
It's
so
fun,
it is. I got
You
so
know,
but you get
but,
paid shit. You get
I,
but you
paid
know
shit.
what?
it
You
still
know
isn't worth
what?
this, Peg.
If you have the vision, if you have the vision, Tina, you can actually hire the person to do the job, and you be the manager, you be the owner of the company, and you can
Step
actually
by
get somebody.
step.
Yeah, you can get somebody under you to actually do the work. All you got to do is orchestrate it and get the clients and everybody that the way it works. The people that are coming in. If you're able to get the funding and everything to establish this, you can be the main head, because this is your idea. And then you get somebody that's, let's say, somebody straight out of college that needs a job, or somebody that, what they call those, interns. You could get somebody that's an intern, and you could give them a recommendation for a future job when they're doing it. And sometimes they need a place that is established or just being established. And if you understand what I'm saying, so like if you have the idea and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, just like mentioned Pathway. You get the concept and everything going the way it needs it. It doesn't have to fall on you. You can find the individual, put an ad. Hello, I'm looking for a local individual that can perform these jobs.
I have so many business plans. Believe me, this isn't. I love y'all for all of that. This is about what's going on inside of me to be able to
Yeah.
process and go to a fucking little mindless job and not be abused while I fucking process real pain. That's the so
Well, I get that
I
while
don't
you're
It's
have the
more
working,
about
it
like
takes
capacity
what's
energy out of your
happening
to
body
now.
give
too,
up my
like the whole
self
process.
enough to do
It
anything
is.
else because I don't know how I'm going to wake up in the morning. Sometimes I wake up great.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough continuity with waking up fucking great long enough to endeavor anything else other than this, and that's why I'm so fucking bent by this because it's a simple little mindless job that just pays me what I need, and I go there and I get fucking treated like shit by a
So
couple
what
of
do
low
you
vibrational
think
beings.
that you need in order to get through where you're at right now? But when I say what do you need, it has nothing to do with the people around you.
I know
What
that's when
what can
somebody who's
you
as messed
do?
up as me coming out of what I'm messed up coming out of. That's when you asked me that the other day. Do I trust myself? Is there ever come a point? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm
I know,
at.
sister.
I would like to trust myself to stop and go do anything else because I believe in the universe and I trust the universe. But truth of the matter is, I'm still very not healed to that level.
Yeah,
To
you're working
to
through it, and
I
that's okay.
know
You're
that's where I'm
human.
at.
Yeah. Give yourself some grace. Let God give you the grace to get through what you need to get through, but also know that you are you can control what you can only control what you can control. And as much as we would love other people to do this, that, and the other thing, it 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 sucks. It sucks because you can see where things can change and where other people can pivot and where like just treat me like a normal human being, but that's not the society we live in. So all we have is our responsibility. All we have is our ability to respond to how the system is. How can you respond in this system so your nervous system isn't all jacked up when you come
Yeah,
home?
because when I start to get healed in the other way, I go experience that, and it just rips the fucking
Yeah.
wound right back open.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and I always know if I either want to drink or if I want to commit suicide, that I know I need to fucking leave where I'm at, and that has both happened to me today.
Good indicator. That's a good indicator of your own personal limits. That's awareness and that's beautiful. And give yourself some credit for that.
I'm just gonna stay focused on that. So, I don't have to be there till 4 o'clock tomorrow. It's a short shift, and
There you go.
I'm going to keep chugging away at it until I get enough healing more under my belt to then make a better decision. I have a couple of things going that I'm waiting to unfold, but I'll give y'all the address so y'all can write them a letter too.
You're doing
Give us
breakfast
the
and
email.
brunch. Breakfast and brunch tomorrow.
Breakfast and brunch. No, I'm probably going to sleep
We're all
in.
coming in for the biscuits and gravy. Give yourself grace that we
Is
know.
this a Cracker Barrel?
I know. It's like the
Oh
Cracker Barrel.
God.
It
Get
always
out.
it
Get out.
always feels like it's tearing us open like a tin can of sardines when somebody treats us like that trigger point when somebody spoke to
Yeah.
us in that ungodly way, like somebody that
Yeah,
can rip us wide open again.
yeah.
But
That's what
somehow,
happened
but somehow we
yesterday.
always get back on our feet again and stand up and we know we're all right.
What
We're
I
all right in
found
Yeah.
this
great
moment
about
right
the way I
now.
handled it, which is what I'm telling myself now, I handled it like I really needed to handle it. And it went, the energy carried over until today. And then I'm either going to hear something from them, which is the other thing. Now I'm on the fence about, am I going to hear something from them every day when I go in? Is somebody, and I
Ugh.
think I know, and the management has been that at first they were really going in, and now they're like backed off of me and starting to like appreciate the wind in the sail, so to speak. There was some wordage, and so I'm really just gonna stay in my now moment and keep focused and see what happens tomorrow. And if I
Focus
keep,
on your wins. Focus on your wins when you are recognizing other people treating you with cruelty that you treat them the way that Jesus would treat other people. You can flip a
Affectionate.
table. You can flip a
Obviously.
table, but you do it with firmness, and kindness doesn't have to be cruel. You can speak what your needs are without being cruel, and you've done that. So every time you do that, that's a Jesus like thing to do. And every time you do that, put that in your pocket as a win. Because every time you speak up for yourself, you're speaking up for yourself in kindness when other people aren't doing that. Do you know how big of a celebration that is? We overlook all of this stuff when we stand up for ourselves in kindness without treating somebody with cruelty. That's a huge win, because that's not just for that one moment. That's for every single ripple of that person. Because that person who's treating you with unkindness may have been treated with unkindness their whole life. And here is somebody who's speaking for their self-worth, who's speaking for their self-care, who's speaking for what they need in a way that's kind, and that's a model for other people, so that they know that they can do it themselves the next time somebody does it to them.
I'm gonna
That's a
take
win.
facts.
That's a
Yes,
huge win.
I'm taking
That's a
that.
huge win,
That is
Tina. And
exactly
don't
what I've
just
been
tuck that
saying to
away.
myself is yes, is that I am really behaving in a way that is producing the manifestation of creating something more of my own place or whatever I want to do. But they can't, nobody look at me in this dynamic and say that I handled it, acted a fool, or didn't do my job right. And that's kind of the way that it has been. So every little
Yeah.
win is definitely the thing to do for sure.
Are you working tomorrow? Is that what you said?
Yeah, for
Any
Yeah,
little
Okay.
soft spot could be for a little girl that just was wishing she was running through a field of flowers, or somebody that had a soft bell go off and was calling on an angel in that moment, or any little click in the tide that made the tide roll away. It could be for any little moment that made a soft click, or a loud yell, or a bell ring, or any kind of change. Something that
Or
just
just
made it roll
peace in
away,
your whole
like
nervous
those waves
system.
that
Yeah.
you run through with that doggy that's been running through the waves with you. Any kind of click that changes system.
Is a huge win.
I
It's not
definitely,
just a huge win for us, it's a huge win for everyone around us.
yeah. All those young people that really do look up to me there,
It ripples, it
they
ripples, it
they have
ripples.
said to me things about me standing up for things, and the like the bussers, they just roll over buses because that's what the servers do to them. And
Yeah.
nobody's, I'm standing up for the bussers. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking tell them to pre-bus their table if they didn't, because they're not leaving it on the busser.
Yep.
So I totally, yeah.
Plant the seeds. Just plant the seeds. The thing is, like you and I are so much alike in this sort of sense that like when we see other people getting steamrolled, like we like to tell other people, like, hey, look, like there's this person over there that's having to pick up your slack. Like I'm gonna let you know what's going on so that you're not continuing to steamroll them.
Yeah.
But if you keep planting seeds in places where stuff isn't going to grow, or you keep planting seeds and somebody is not listening to you, then if you keep planting seeds and it's not growing, this is the practice that I'm still learning, that you have to step back,
Oh yeah, for sure.
because you're only overwatering yourself, you're only drowning yourself or drowning yourself or whatever. It's the trusting that your words are powerful enough to make change. It's that self-trust thing. And you have a powerful heart. You have a pure heart. You have a heart that wants to see other people treated in a way with kindness and love and compassion. But the reality of this existence is that there are some people that are so wounded, there are some people that are so hurt, there are some people that are so broken, that it doesn't matter how kind you are to them, it doesn't matter how loving you are to them, it doesn't matter how compassionate you are to them, they will not take the time to stop and go, holy shit, I need to water this seed. I need to give this plant love. But that recognition of where your words are landing and where they're not is about being care aware, because not everybody is going to grow their plant to 10 feet like Maura did. Not everybody's going to do that. So you have to trust that your seeds, the seeds that you're planting, are worthy, are awesome, are incredible, and then let go. It's that surrender that's the hardest part for me. That's the hardest part for me, watching people harm themselves and not tend to their plants. But that's not my responsibility.
Tina, quick question.
Yeah.
So, I I think I think you have the responsibility of setting up boundaries, and I think what you have expressed tonight is nothing more than you setting up a boundary and someone challenging it, right? I
Yeah.
just heard you 4 or 5 times during this conversation set your boundary, and you were not wrong, you were not bitchy, you were not crazy, you're not that old lady on the podium that thinks she's the but. None of that, right? Um, I sense that you understand restraint, that you understand proper language, that you're not, flustered or cussing or just, throwing a fit. So I think you do have the right of setting up a boundary, and the boundary is do your fucking job.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? It is. I mean, I work in a software lab, and for the longest time, I mean, three people, me, one being one of the three, carried the weight of the lab, and we thought it was, oh my God, we're doing so great because we can do all this stuff. But then all of a sudden, one of the guys leaves, and then it's just my coworker and myself, and we start underperforming, and all of a sudden we recognize that the other 20 people are not doing the work, are not doing the job. We are doing the job because it's either our way or the highway, and it ended up being harmful to ourselves. So yeah, I mean, just you have the right to ask people to do their job, because if they don't do their job, you cannot do yours.
No.
So
Yeah.
there's no guilt, there's no shame, there's nothing. I mean, we should not feel stressed about that.
Yeah. I
If
don't want you to feel
anything,
guilt or shame, either
yeah.
one of you.
So I mean, I think that the empowering moment for me was when I was able to say no. But then again, in my case, I keep falling on that same hill of I need to prove myself, right? I need to prove myself. I need to prove myself. I'm competing with, and I'm not, and I don't have a the competition is in my mind. It doesn't really exist because no one cares. They all slack. No one does the fucking job. You know what I mean? So I, I guess what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't be in a position of pain or fear because you're going to lose your job. Because we're not. You're only asking
Yeah, they need you.
right. You're only asking your
They need
coworkers
you.
to do their stuff. And while you do yours, you want me out of your hair, do your job. I mean, it's just do the job.
But
We
you also
are
have to
a
trust
team.
them to do their job and not
That's it.
just slack off. Like
Well, but if they don't, but
that's
that's right. But that's the point, right? If you see that the place is dirty, you know that the customer is going to walk away because they're going to say, "I would walk away." Well, I'm stupid, but I would walk away because I'm going to say, if the place where I'm going to sit is dirty, like the table still has, I don't know,
yeah.
grease from the previous person, or there's like breadcrumbs all over the place, I can only imagine how that kitchen looks like. I'm not
Yes.
going to eat here,
Yeah.
right? And if and if I don't eat there, then Tina doesn't get the points from all of the tips that they're being,
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah.
So
It's
Well, I
you
don't get
I
know,
paid
just
like
keep
that,
like
but
I just
I just don't. I used to own a business, and
you good,
I
girl.
treat every place that I work as if it's my
so
own
good.
because I don't want a customer, and I've been a customer, to go in and sit that way. It's not a. It's the only reason it's about the money at all is because I need to pay my bills. I'm not. I don't
Right.
think about the money when I'm there. I
Yeah,
think about.
but all the
But
kids
you
need
still
to
have to pay your
be
bills.
right, and all
I
the people
know,
It's
that
but
such a
I'm just saying,
balance.
like it's. I would. I will. I'm the reason I'm like this is because I want them.
yeah, to
Because
have
I
a good
want
Because
experience.
you
her to do the right
care.
thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Because
you're
you
authentic.
care. But it's like I just keep coming back to like my crappy toxic relationships of the past where like I have a certain standard of how I want my house to be. Okay? Let's put it that way. And I can keep the standard the way that it is, but if they're doing nothing and I continue to clean the house and do all this stuff and not voice what I need to voice and all this stuff, it's on me because I'm enabling a behavior where somebody can go sit in the basement and play video games and go to the gym and smoke pot while I'm taking the responsibility of the whole entire house because I have a vagina. And I have to look at myself and go, okay, well, I can go on strike and make the invisible work visible so you can see it and lose the relationship, which is what happened to me because I was only valuable for as much as I could do for them. And I know it's a very different situation when you're in a workplace and that paycheck is paying your bills, but we can still pull back and go, you know what? It is other people's job. It's other people's responsibility to do their job. That's what they're getting paid for.
I have
But
done
if I'm,
that.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
they do better. But the manager
okay,
was
good.
there last night and they acted, they behaved. Mara, that's funny. Mara's live content contains things that may have you find uncomfortable. If they remain
What?
your live will be unavailable to some audiences. We'll keep
oh
her.
my God, what did
To
I
Somalia? Is that what you said?
Mara, Mara's a
Nisama?
bad, bad girl.
What did I do?
What are you saying? Sorry.
Sorry.
That I
I think it was the stuff that I
was
just said that now Mara
nice.
has to take responsibility
I
for. Like
nothing
it's
but them disappear. Like,
I
I
like let me just put
wanna
it this way.
I
Like
got my stand
let me
up,
just
get
put
in
it
my
this way.
teeth.
I had to recognize in myself where I was enabling a certain standard that I wanted to be because I don't want to live in filth. I don't want to live
I'm
with a
not doing
sink
that.
like filled with dishes and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I was also perpetuating a behavior that I didn't want by picking it all up myself because I've always picked it all up myself. So I had to stop and look at myself and go, how am I perpetuating this behavior? Not in shame, not in guilt, but going, what do I want from here? And I just have to either trust that these people are gonna do this or leave because I don't want to live like
That's
this.
exactly what's up. So,
And like I apologize, Tina. I apologize, Tina, if the way that I was saying things was too aggressive. I'm pissed off for you. I'm pissed off that I feel like from my perspective it seems like people are taking advantage of you and you're so good and you're so giving and you've done that your whole entire life and I don't want to see what's happening in a job come home and make you feel like you want to unalive yourself.
really,
That I think that's why I'm being so
I
like
appreciate that.
brutal about it.
I
Well, you're being
appreciate.
protective, and if somebody says something that makes you feel that way, we want to protect you,
Yeah, I'm very
support
protective
you,
by
be fully
nature,
supportive.
Yep.
but I
100%.
don't want you to feel guilt or shame, or if the way that I'm expressing how
You
I'm
were just
feeling is
saying what
making you
they were
feel guilt or
saying.
shame.
You were
Yeah, I
saying
got
exactly
that.
what they were saying, and that what the low vibrational employees are saying. That's what you were saying. You were
But
saying
I'm not them.
you're doing the manager's job. That's what the issue was, because that's what they were
Yeah.
saying. That's not true.
It's not true.
But
It's
I
not true.
appreciate I appreciate all the rest of that. I know that you know.
It's just it's other people making you feel guilty and ashamed for doing a job that's not your job to do. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to express, and I apologize if
I
that connected
definitely
with other people or whatever. I don't want to add to your stress. I want I want you to recognize your deep worth to everyone,
thank you. That's where I'm at.
whether it's at your job or not.
Because
I
it's the
just
same kind
I
of
and I can't
principle.
teach you that. I can't
No,
teach
but
you. I wish I could teach people their worth. I wish I could teach people their self-trust. I wish I could teach people, you know what, your voice is powerful. What you're saying makes a difference. What you're saying in that place makes a difference. But at some point in time, we have to learn that line. There's a line of, I've done enough. And now I have to step back and surrender. And I'm still learning it myself. I'm still learning it in my relationships, and I had to learn it in the workplace and all this kind of stuff. But it's only living it. It's only living it and hearing other people's lived experiences that we can get through all of this crap that has just been built around us. You don't have to scaffold other people's weaknesses at the expense of yourself. Just say what you need to say and then let it be. I'm still learning, obviously.
yeah, it just feels like being the best. I always said I would rather buy the worst car on a big nice car lot than the best car on a shitty car lot. And I feel like I'm the best car on a shitty car lot right now.
Yeah.
So if I move on and go find something else, then it's going to be the same kind of, but in a different way, opening up another thing that I got to heal, because that's what would happen
And
with
it's new and all
looking
these
for. I like
relationships
that
and it's
part. That's not
change.
it. Okay. It's about looking in the past. What the theme of it was is that I was really good, a good woman and all this, but I had a tainted childhood that was held against me. But if I didn't have what it took to get with a really good guy, because no good guy wanted a girl with a tainted past.
Yeah, no.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
That's
I
the
don't know who told
confidence.
you that, but
That's
that's bullshit.
Well, but that was reality
that's
back in the 1980s and 90s. So no, I
yeah,
know.
they are.
I know.
It
and
was,
and
yes,
be,
but it's not
and
true now.
knowing the worth, because if I knew my worth, I would have said there will be a good man that wants me and loves me. But I was living out of trauma and
Yeah.
perpetuating the other. And that's how I feel like I'm in that edge right now. I can either continue on and allow management to come up and continue to fold in the newness and back me up. But once that thermodynamic happened and sizzled me 2 weeks ago, when that shit went down and it started getting really heavy there, it disheartened me. And so I love it so much that I'm like in a relationship and compromise and working out conflict resolution. I want to grow to where I do that. I want to
Yeah.
grow to where I allow the system to come up, the manager to step in to help me to promote, to get rid of the low vibrational energy, to do their part. But I'm in that pivot right now. And
Yeah, you
that's
have to learn where your garden is growing. And the only way you can learn is by being in it. Like that's it.
All right, guys. I am beat.
Me too.
Love the conversation. I just,
Thank you so much, Maura. And
yeah, for
thank you,
sure.
Tina, for hosting Maura, because I love you, Maura.
I love her. Me and her came in at a level, boy. We was like, we're gonna make this happen though, and it turned out really good. I love
Yeah,
her.
I love the conversation because it makes me reflect on a lot of the things that I say that you have to do this, and I don't do it myself, right? So I'm like, yeah, let me run myself down to the ground again for the nth time.
Well,
Um,
I actually really do feel better. I know it was intense, but
no, it was good. It was good.
It was needed, and I want to let you both ladies know that I was talking with my partner the other day about how I haven't really had a lot of women in my life who were like who showed me strength. Um and both of you do that for me.
Oh,
Like I've always been the one who's been loud and too much and too aggressive, and I'm not saying that you guys are these things, but you speak your heart. You both speak your heart and you speak your mind unapologetically, whether you think that you do or not. That's how I perceive it. And I don't have a lot of strong women in my circle. I have a lot of women who are just folding over and being doormats and being steamrolled and all this kind of stuff. So to know that there's other women who are like, this is what I'm feeling, this is how I'm feeling vulnerable, and it's okay for me to be vulnerable. It's okay for me to feel weak in this moment. It's okay for me to feel in disarray and have this strength of heart behind it is so rare for me. And you both are models of that for me, to make me know that the person that I am is not wrong.
you'll never be wrong.
no,
You would never be
you
wrong.
remind me of
Yes.
my baby.
Hmm.
You remind me of my baby. We'll talk about that another day. But yeah, you're really golden.
Wow, I am deeply touched by that. I am I, yeah, I am speechless.
I'm
Like
It's
really
no
incredible.
grateful for
bullshit.
these
No bullshit.
conversations.
Like
Yeah.
men are very good at no bullshit. They're very good at no bullshit, but I don't have I feel like I've sort of been walking a trail through the forest alone, like with my machete, cutting things down while people tell me that I'm this, that, or the other thing, and my cursing is wrong, and my person is wrong, and how I do things is wrong, and you're not feminine enough, and you're not masculine enough, and you're not enough, and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's
But
always.
but to meet other strong women, it is just it's life changing for me, and I want you both to know that.
I appreciate that
I love you.
deeply. Yes, yes.
Oh, you guys are amazing.
Thank you. And next week, next Saturday Night Live, Miss Kimberly gonna give us a show. We're gonna have light language. We're gonna have all the stuff that she's getting a thing together. We talked about it a while ago, so it's gonna be a night. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a nice
Super,
healing night.
yeah, super looking forward to it. I'm really
Yay!
intrigued. Yes.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I'm always teeter-tottering back and forth between all the same things, between crying and singing and the same thing. So I appreciate you guys being here.
Sounds good to me, crying and singing.
I'm glad I can cry.
Yeah, glad that you came up here and felt it out too, as well.
Yeah, I haven't been home the past couple of Saturdays, so I haven't been able to be up here. So I'm really grateful I got to be here with you guys.
Your voice in general just like makes my heart all warm. Does
Yes.
Oh,
anybody else
Jenny,
like
thank
feel
you
this
so
way?
much.
Like
Yes,
when
a
they
part of
hear
us.
somebody's voice, like whether it's aggressive or calm, like it just like
So soothing.
maybe it's just like the weirdness about me, but when I hear someone's voice, I'll read their words, but when I hear someone's voice, it's sort of a recognition,
Oh,
like
thank you so much.
home.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
so
how to
sweet.
describe it, but there's just some people's voices where I'm just like, where have you been?
We always resonate with each other.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I love y'all very much, and thank y'all. This really has helped me, and we're going to see a lot of good
Thank
stuff
you.
happening. Ezra, I'm going to text you soon.
I'm sorry if I was
All right.
being bitchy. I love you.
You're all
Yeah,
right. Just keep that
and
shit straight.
Tina,
Give it to
Tina,
me. Give it to me
yeah,
in a Tina talk.
Tina, you're amongst good-minded individuals. Remember, what's out there, they don't have understanding like we do. And the reason that we spoke and said it is because we care. We care, and we're trying to find a resolution.
Yeah.
So I
We don't want
appreciate it.
anybody
Don't
in
worry.
Oh,
pain.
that's good.
I want all random letters from all your friends to them. Tell
Yes. Yes.
Dear Cracker Barrel, you suck.
promote her to manager, but don't promote her to manager. She don't want to be.
Say
Give her
the
manager pay.
There
right.
you go.
I took my family in there. My everybody went there, and the only sane person was the hostess.
Exactly. Saint Hostess Tina.
Yes.
Give
Tina, Tina.
her
That kind of
an
is what they
upgrade.
say anyway. I'm gonna tell you all this, and then I'm gonna click off because I know Mara's got to go. I literally, so my manager agreed because the most they ever collected for St. Jude's was $1,500, and so she committed to dyeing her hair green and red like a pepper if we made it to $3,000, and we passed up $3,000, and guess who that was because of?
It's only because of Tina.
Doesn't surprise me.
I doubled what
Christmas
they made.
colors.
We only come for Tina.
That's
I said,
hilarious.
great, now you're gonna have retaliation against me.
Nah, we can do it. We can
I
do
love
it.
y'all.
We love you
Love
too.
you. Thank you,
Please say
everyone.
your prayers. God
Love
is
you
love.
guys. Thank you.
Sweet dreaming and
You guys
sweet
have
awakenings.
have a great weekend and good night.
Good
You
night,
too,
y'all.
Azrael.
Love y'all.
And Gabe's there. Bye, Gabe. Good night.
Yeah, I see them.
Bye,
Hello,
Gabe.
Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
I'll catch you.
God is love.